Hi friends, Ben here. This week on Bite Sized, we're doing something a little different. We recently started a Patreon to help support the show, and as part of that, we've started a bonus series called Bite Sized Presents. Myself, Sarah, and editor Ben are watching and discussing the movies that the Twilight stars were in before they were in Twilight. And you're going to hear one of those episodes today, to give you a little taste of what it's like. You can have access to all the episodes and every episode we release on a monthly basis, plus whatever else we decide to put there, for a mere $5 a month. All that information can be found at patreon.com/twilightpodcast, but for now, enjoy me, Ben, and Sarah talking about the adventures of Sharkboy and Lavagirl in 3D.
Am I Victor Gruen? Or Victor Frankenstein? A modern Prometheus, a blower of minds. Am I Wilbur, an Orville, same in the sky? I'm noble, I'm Nobel, I'm dynamite.
Hello, and welcome to Bite Sized Presents, a bonus series, a Patreon series for you, the supporters of this show. We haven't done this in a couple months, and so if there's a look of panic behind my eyes because I don't remember if we have some sort of consistent intro, that's why.
I think all that you need to know about this series
Is that we love you.
And that also...
In a parasocial way, we love you.
Yeah, we love you specifically.
What I was gonna say, actually, was all you really need to know is that this is the series where we look at movies that the Twilight stars were in before they were Twilight stars.
Yeah, that's what Bite Sized Presents is all about. And tonight, and I do mean literally tonight, as in a couple hours before we started recording this, we watched the hit film The Adventures of Sharkboy and Lavagirl.
We turned it off
in
3D.
We turned it off maybe 15 minutes ago.
We turned it off. We immediately busted out the microphones because we wanted to watch this as God intended in actual 3 dimensions.
Yes.
With the red and blue 3D glasses.
And we looked great.
It was a great time. Not to jump too far ahead in the sort of order of things, but highly recommend that.
Yeah.
Definitely watch this in 3D if you're going to watch it.
Good experience.
We watched the movie The Adventures of Sharkboy and Lavagirl in 3D because it does star Taylor Lautner as the titular Sharkboy before in 3D in the titular 3D before he was
Jacob.
Before he was Jacob in the Twilight series. That's correct.
Ding, ding, ding. I win.
So when this released, it would have been in like lenticular 3D in the in the movie theaters, you know, or I won't get into how all that technology works. Either you know or you don't care. But
with the red and the blue.
Well, no, not in theaters.
No, this in theaters. Are you sure?
I'm 90% sure.
Okay.
Because at this was the boom of, this was sort of the 3D renaissance.
Ooh. Tell us more.
Because there was a new version of 3D where you, instead of it being color coded, you had glasses where basically the left eye would block out every other frame and the right eye would block out the other frames. And so it would go back and it would flicker back and forth very quickly between 2 different perspectives, but your brain would put it together as one picture. And that's why there were all those 3D movies for a long time, in like the 2000s, is it was kind of a new way to do 3D. But you can't do that. There were 3D TVs that could do that. But for us here, we have no 3D TV.
No.
So we had to just get the red and blue glasses version.
Which was fantastic.
Well, and that is the version that comes on the DVD.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
I remember I did not see this movie in theaters, to sort of transition into the first question I usually ask. I remember seeing this movie in sort of bits and pieces on the Disney Channel, I think. I don't know that I've ever seen this movie from start to finish until tonight.
I had not seen a bit of this movie ever.
But this was the first time I think I've watched a movie in that red and blue 3D since seeing Spy Kids 3D in theaters.
Oh.
And I feel these 2 movies are so linked to me because they're the same director and they came out sort of one right after the other. And so I sort of assumed when this was in theaters, it would have been in that red and blue 3D as well.
You know what?
What?
In post, I'm going to fact check myself.
Okay.
And if I was wrong about that, I'll say so right here.
Whoosh.
All right, everybody, I did my fact checking and I was wrong. That polarization 3D method, that started to get popular a few years down the line. This was in anaglyph 3D, which is to say the colored glasses method of 3D. So what we saw was very accurate to what you would have seen in theaters, except that it was DVD, so the image quality was a lot lower than a movie theater screen. Okay, bye. All right.
We're back. Murph, had you seen this movie before?
I had seen this movie before.
You seem very familiar with it.
My family was a big Spy Kids fan. My sister's favorite movie when we were a kid was Spy Kids 2, Island of Lost Dreams. So this was, in the same realm by the same studio. So I think I saw this in theaters with my family.
Okay.
And I'm definitely familiar with it, at least in the present day, because some parts of it have been turned into memes online. We'll talk later about some songs.
Some
songs, one specific song. But yeah, I definitely seen this as a kid. So when it was my turn to pick from the list of movies and which ones we wanted for this episode of Bite Size Presents, I was like, this one.
Yeah, this was your first choice.
This was my first choice.
Yeah.
And what a choice it was. I think I gave Oxshire an aneurysm.
Oh my God.
As I often do.
Well, let me also say, and this will help you, listener, understand some of the things I say as we go on here. For the past 2 episodes that we've done of this particular series, I have watched the movie independently, and I will watch a scene, pause it, write out as coherent a summary as I can, watch the next scene, and on and on and on. I didn't want to slow us down this time, so I just typed without looking at the keyboard while the movie was going, with no pausing. And boy, this might be the hardest movie in the world to do that with.
Because stuff just happens.
Stuff just kind of happens, man.
Yeah, it really introduces things willy-nilly.
Yes.
And the dialogue is, I'm sure we all remember the hit film Madam Web.
Oh,
And the big famous
Do
line from
I.
that movie, he was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders just before she died.
Oh, yes.
Sharkboy and Lavagirl 3D has a line at that sort of level of understandability. About every 15 minutes, someone will just say something crazy like that.
But in Sharkboy and Lavagirl, in Shark Times,
They're trans and the sharks.
the line is more like, he was in the Amazon with my dream when my dream dreamed right before she dreamed.
It does feel
It's
like
just kind of gibberish with the word dream thrown in very liberally.
If you've
Yeah.
ever wanted to kill someone, make them take a shot every time they say dream. They'll be dead in 10 minutes.
Dead before Act 2.
It's as if the American Dream Council paid the filmmakers to plug dreams as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
We need
or else the
Americans
movie
hopeful
doesn't get
again.
funded.
This is just a product of Big Dream.
Yeah. Look, if you dreamed tonight, thank a farmer.
So we start the movie. We have
Yeah.
Sharkboy's origin story.
Even before that, the movie
Oh,
begins
yeah.
by
You're not even
quoting
talking about
itself.
the opening.
Oh, that wasn't the opening? Go on.
the
Go
title
on.
card. You don't remember?
The title card?
Yes, the quote from Lavagirl.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm
the
sorry.
in-universe quote to open
You're
this
right.
quote that we
movie.
haven't heard yet, but
Quote,
we're going to read.
everything that is or was began with a dream. Lavagirl.
Yes,
Girl.
it's the rare movie that has the guts to quote itself at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what we get. And so set that up, because that'll be important later. It definitely won't be lost in a sea of other lines about dreamity dream.
Right.
So now we get to Sharkboy's origin story.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
This was a kid who, as it says, Sharkboy was not always half shark and half boy.
That's the first spoken line of the film.
Yes.
And it sets the tone well.
He cared for sharks, but then a storm came and swept away the floating lab that he was working on. He was separated from his dad, left alone except for a shark that recognized him. He was then raised by hundreds of sharks who taught him to grow gills and fins.
The sharks greeted him by saying, "Hey, it's
Yeah.
Sharkboy."
Yeah, when you say the sharks recognized him, one of them literally goes, "Hey, it's Sharkboy."
Shark Boy. Hey, I know you. Hey, can I get a selfie with you, Shark Boy?
Sharkboy, I'm your number one fan.
They train him in all the things that sharks know how to do.
Yep.
Like you gotta keep moving forward to stay alive.
Right. You would think that would be the kind of thing that would get set up and then paid off
Yeah.
later, but it won't. Stop thinking that.
They teach him
Stop thinking that right now.
Well, I'm dreaming it comes true.
They teach him how to have gills and
Yep.
fins.
Yep.
You know.
This is when we realized, for the first time and not the last, that every joke that we would try to make about this movie instantly happened.
Yes.
Because
Right.
I made some joke about somebody said, like, how is he breathing? And I said, he learned how to have gills. And then he's like, I grew gills. And I'm like, okay, all right. And that was like the first of many, many times that one of us would make a joke and then it immediately happened.
Yeah. We were, as I said while we were watching it, we were essentially writing this movie as it was happening.
Yeah, just like they did when they wrote the movie.
We could have watched this movie on mute and got, I'd say, about 50% of the dialogue word for word perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, we realize that Sharkboy is not going to be the protagonist of the movie. This is all being told by a boy named Max, who met Sharkboy while fishing on a dock and snuck him in past his troubled parents having an argument.
They were so busy arguing, they didn't notice that he put a shark boy in the shower.
Well, he was leaned over. So easy.
Oh,
easy to
right.
miss.
True.
He was sort of bent over while he was sneaking up the stairs.
Good thing he didn't have like a protruding dorsal fin coming out of his back or something more conspicuous.
Right.
That's how Max always walks up the stairs, with his hand as a fin.
And then they put Sharkboy in their completely watertight shower.
Yeah, that was
Damn.
impressive.
Whoever installed that shower, they should be putting ads everywhere.
And whoever built the floor under that shower.
Yes.
Good job.
I want that contractor's number.
That is thousands of pounds of water in
Also,
that shower.
the implication here is that Sharkboy needs to be like submerged in water to survive, but he does not.
Yeah, the rest of the movie he is statedly dry.
Yeah, and he's fine. It's never
It's
an
just
issue.
really humid on planet Drool.
I guess.
So
There's-
speaking of the planet Drool, this is where one night Lavagirl appears at the house and says that she needs Sharkboy to return to planet Drool. We then zoom out and we realize that all of this has been Max's What I Did This Summer presentation in a class. The class is unimpressed. They throw spitballs at him. Teacher George Lopez is unimpressed. A mean kid named Linus goes next and mocks
Fucking
Max.
Linus.
Man, you know, in a way, it's his parents' fault for naming him Linus.
Yeah.
You're kind of setting up your kid for failure. He's going to have a hard time if you give him the name Linus.
Do you think Max ran this presentation by his parents at all? Because it seems
No.
like, you know,
They were
something
too
had to
busy yelling
prepare.
at each other.
They
You're
were
right,
arguing.
That's all they do.
Because you see, his dad's a writer, and his mom doesn't think that that's a good enough job, and that's the only problem that we're aware of them having.
We don't know what he writes.
Nope, never once,
He
never.
just
No.
does.
But they do have like a really nice house.
They've got a
considering
nice
it
house.
Sounds like they have money trouble.
It seems
Well-
as though he has on and off writers gigs, and his wife does not work, and yet they have a nice house.
I mean, this is pre-2008. They had a subprime mortgage.
That's true.
They were just giving out
Fuck,
houses.
that bubble was about to burst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they definitely lost that house about 3 years after the
Oh
events of
my
this
God,
movie.
Max.
Yeah.
no.
And any house with that watertight a shower and that strong a
Second
flooring,
floor.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's gonna go for $1.5 million easy these days.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Especially in insert town here, Texas.
Oh yeah, they're in
That
Texas
is
somewhere.
somehow, I won't get us too bogged down in the details of this, but the parts of Texas where you might run into a shark and the parts of Texas where you might run into a tornado, as seen later in the film, are two very far apart from each other parts of Texas. But
Yeah.
anyway,
And let me just nip this in the bud because I
Nip
can
it.
imagine.
Nip it.
nip that bud.
I can
Nip it.
imagine.
Nip.
I can imagine
Ow,
that
my bud.
there's some listener out there who's either seen the movie and it was a long time ago, or they haven't seen the movie but they're aware of kind of what it is, and they're like, guys, this is a children's movie. Don't pick this apart. But the thing is, it's a sloppy ass children's movie.
Yeah,
guys.
there's good kids media.
There's lots of good kids media, and there's some imaginative bits in this movie, but this is sloppy. This is all
Right.
over the place.
And to that point, there is a possibility. I haven't looked this up, but I'm going to look it up as we talk. But there is a distinct possibility that the filmmaker, Robert Rodriguez, essentially co-wrote this movie with his son, who
I
was
wonder.
around the age of Max at
Shut
the
the
time.
fuck up.
I wondered, it had that distinct feeling sometimes where you just have a little kid who just keeps throwing out ideas.
And then they go and their cookies.
Yep.
And then the cookie big?
Yes, because this movie had a distinct and then feel to the structure.
Oh my God.
Right.
Which is notoriously not how you're supposed to write stories. You need buts and therefores. You need things that conflict and connect, but this is just and.
Right. So, just to verify, in the credits, there is a story by credit for his name is Racer Max Rodriguez.
Racer Max Rodriguez.
And the director Robert Rodriguez has a son named Racer Rodriguez, who was born in 1997. So when this movie came out in 2005, the kid would have been 8 at the oldest.
Which means he would have been like 6 when they were coming up with the story.
When they were writing the script together.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn it. Now I can't make fun of it.
Yeah, you can.
Wait, yes, I can because it got a big old Hollywood budget.
Well, okay. And also, here's another thing to consider. This is also a Robert Rodriguez film.
Yeah, he did do smaller budget stuff.
And he's essentially an indie filmmaker. Like, he financed this all himself using mainly money from the Spy Kids movies, which were huge hits around the same time this was coming out, shortly before. And the somewhat paradoxically incredibly gory horror movies he got started making.
Yeah. I think what I would say then is I just wish he would have taken some of the raw ideas that his kid had and just placed them into a story structure.
Yeah, like
because
it's fine
that
to have
didn't
inspiration. It just it needs shaping.
Yes.
Put the giant milk and cookies land and the big roller coaster. Do all that. Just put it in a structure of some kind.
It is very fun that you get to write a movie with your 6-year-old son.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be for the rest of us to watch, you got to tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why 6-year-olds don't really make it in Hollywood that often when it comes to writing. Cause dumb.
Yeah.
And.
Don't know dick about basic narrative
They
structure.
don't know nothing about the hero's journey.
They haven't
Idiots.
read Joseph Campbell. They can barely read.
In the classroom, George Lopez, whose name is Mr. Electricidad,
Yeah.
tells Max and Linus to make nice because dreaming keeps you from seeing what's in front of you or something. Max writes no dreaming in his dream journal. Outside, Linus is being a dick. He and the bullies try to take Max's dream journal. They chase him around. Eventually, they steal it.
I think it's so weird that a teacher is trying to crush a child's dreams at like the ripe age of 10.
Again, very weird. Mr. Electricidad's character is super inconsistent, and I never know where he's coming from.
I would like to take this opportunity to point out that one of sort of the henchman bullies is wearing a shirt with just a sentence on it that says, I would, in one font, I would rather ask for forgiveness later and then ask for permission now. And then we'll see him, what is essentially in movie terms, the next day, wearing a different shirt that says, do I look like, and then another font, someone who cares.
Wow. It was 2005.
That kid was my favorite character.
I didn't catch the shirts at all.
Apparently that's his entire wardrobe is just cool shirts about how he doesn't care.
That's what he brought from home.
Yeah.
Forgiveness. That's interesting because ask forgiveness, not permission, was the advice I was given when I was in film school when we were talking about how to do productions on a micro budget.
And how to film.
It's just like,
permit.
hey, if you're not sure if you can film here, just better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah,
that was the motto. That was where I learned that motto.
Yeah.
So maybe that was Robert Rodriguez's small budget mindset.
And to answer his question, I don't think he did look like someone who cares.
No,
I think he looked like an 11-year-old boy.
You know who doesn't care the most?
Care.
You know who doesn't care the most?
Mr. Electricity.
People who wear shirts about it.
That's true.
They care the least of anybody.
They need you to know how little they care.
And that's how little they care.
Yeah.
That stormy night, Max is awakened by voices and dinosaur tracks. I guess they're supposed to be shark tracks.
Yeah, they're shark tracks.
You know how sharks
But I guess sharks don't have feet, so, you know.
Well, he evolved.
The sharks taught him how to have feet.
Yeah.
He's awakened by voices and tracks that lead him to a messed up kitchen with a melted glass of milk and some eaten up cookies. Sharkboy and Lavagirl have been there, it seems. His parents show up and argue about whether or not those guys exist.
Right.
Again, the parents' point of view, very unclear in this scene.
Right?
Right.
Of like, okay, dad's sort of, all right, yeah, but as we'll see, like, mom again is very like her son is 10, I'm assuming, because he's fourth grade. It's like 9, 10.
Somewhere around
and
there.
And she's like, fuck your dreams, you dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Dad says kids need to have dreams because dreamity dream. But then mom says kids need to grow up. Now, if you think that she's going to later realize I was wrong, I had a stop thinking that things will connect with other things.
No, because this was written by a 6-year-old who doesn't understand character arc.
And that kid knew that mom was not going to be mom of the week.
Mom of the week.
That put this that put this weirdly this made an interesting companion piece to Zathura: A Space Adventure.
Yeah,
the last movie we watched for this bonus series.
So much better than this.
Infinitely better.
Well,
So
because
much
it wasn't co-written by a child.
Yeah.
You know what? More movies should be co-written by children.
No.
But it's all like those movies are both about a child with a sort of harried and overworked parent, who gets into some shenanigans, and there's robots.
Yeah,
and they came out.
Those are the overlaps.
They may have even come out in the same year. They are within a
might
year
around
of each other,
the same time.
Zathura was maybe 06. This was 05.
Max goes back to bed and talks to himself about some kind of dream world.
He goes to sleep in his bunk bed.
In his bunk bed.
Okay, we had questions about this.
He's on the lower bunk of a bunk bed. There is no one in the top bunk.
As far as we can tell, he is the only child. The existence of the bunk bed for the only child definitely raises questions that the movie doesn't intend to raise.
We all agreed that in cinematic language, that means
dead brother.
Dead brother.
Yep.
Right. When I was a kid, my brother and I, until he was about the age of 10, we shared a room. And we had bunk beds.
Mm-hmm.
We had these two beds that could be either individual beds, both on ground level, or you could put one on top of the other and make it a bunk bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then when my brother got his own room, and I guess I also got my own room. I don't know why I've always thought of it as Andrew got his own room. I did too at the same time. I don't
because he moved.
I don't know why I assumed that was just a promotion for him. And
because he got something shiny and new.
He got it. Whoa, he got a new room, but I had the same room, but it was still just mine. That's not important.
Are you realizing the world has been less unfair to you than you gave it credit for?
We'll talk more about my relationship with my brother.
Do you want to
later.
talk about how you cast things as negative when there's no need?
I wish this chair would cover me up right now.
We're out of time for this.
You would stop asking.
That'll be a
these
$70
questions.
copay.
That's not bad.
I was gonna say.
Anyway, when my brother moved into his own room, I kept the bunk bed, but my parents took away the mattress and slats of the lower bunk.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a loft bed and room under it.
Sure. That's not what's going on here.
That's not what's going
he's on
on
the
here.
This kid is on the
bunk.
bottom bunk and there was nothing on the top.
Also, I as a former 11-year-old boy, what kind of
Get out of
fool
here, me too.
Hey, no way. We'll talk more about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also did you also have we'll talk more about my brother later. We'll edit that out.
I had your
entirely.
brother, yeah.
You had my brother?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
What?
As a former 11-year-old.
As a former 11-year-old boy, it is a fool who chooses the lower bunk when you have when you could have both.
Yeah.
That kid should be on the top bunk.
Yeah. You always go.
When you're that age, there's nothing cooler than sleeping up top. Sarah, your thoughts? I assume you went to camp at some point in your life.
Sarah, are you a top or a bottom?
Okay. Well, why not? Why not both?
Verse.
No, in terms of bunk, I'm actually thinking back to when I went to summer camp. We definitely stayed in bunk beds. I think I had the bottom bunk every time.
Okay.
By choice or just by default?
I don't remember at this point, but honestly, I think it was also that I don't like top bunk sometimes because sometimes you sit up and then you hit your head on the ceiling.
That does happen.
Oh, well, see, that's a you being very tall thing. So, but wait, if you're on the bottom bunk,
when
don't
you
you
were-
run the same?
I guess you do. I don't know, but
And maybe this is just a difference of boys and girls things, because when I was a boy and went to camp, there was definitely competition for who got the top bunks.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it's a status thing.
Yeah.
Getting the top bunk.
Yeah.
It's the same reason my cats want to get to the highest point in the apartment. They can see everything from up there.
They're tree cats.
It's a tactical position.
I think when I went to camp, I was pretty deferring about who got what bunk.
Okay.
Actually, total tangent about when I went to summer camp.
Okay.
Is that the first year that I went, I was in a room of 4 girls, including me, and 2 of them decided, for God only knows what reason, that they wanted to bully the shit out of me.
Okay.
But I knew that no. Here's the thing, though, is that I knew they were bullying the shit out of me. So I said, okay, I'm just not going to respond, and it drove them up a wall that they kept trying to bother me.
What would they do? What were their initiations?
I just
their
remember
provocations.
small things, just like making fun
Go
of what
bump your head on the ceiling.
yeah.
like making fun of what I was wearing at one point, and then
Okay.
I would just like gush back and be like, "Oh my god, thank you so much. This is like my favorite." So like I would just like I would be so annoying, or they'd do something annoying to be a bother to me, and then I would just say like, "Oh my god, like it's no problem at all." Like I would just be overly nice.
Yeah, kill 'em
And
with
at
kindness.
one point, they actually responded with like "We are trying to annoy you. What the fuck?" I was like, "I know."
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Boo.
Anyway, all that tangent to say, I probably just went bottom bunk just to be like, "Listen, I don't. You girls do whatever the fuck you want.
Got it.
I'm just here to do theater camp. I don't really care."
So he's falling asleep on his bottom bunk, which is what got us off on
Fool.
that. Next to a power strip that is a severe fire hazard. That actually is planting for some stuff that will pay off later. At breakfast the next day, Mom is making Dad, who apparently is a writer, this is the first we're hearing about that, get a real job. This is the first and only time we're going to hear about that. Dad found a robot in his closet while searching for a clip-on tie, but Max doesn't want to finish the robot because Dad once told him it wouldn't work. This is not anything we've seen. Dad is now sad that he said that.
The robot and clip-on tie will be surprisingly relevant later.
It'll be very
True.
important.
That's true. Well, they'll be relevant.
Yeah, well, the robot will be more relevant than the tie.
Right. That's
Dad is played by David Arquette, and
That's
as a
true.
Scream fan, I got very excited. I was like, "David Arquette, what are you doing?"
And
here?"
Mom is playing by someone I definitely recognized, but whose name did not come to me.
I can take a look.
immediately.
I'm pulling it up now.
As
you got it up-
you're
you got it, Dave
looking
Bear?
for that. But they have this weird little conversation about get
Oh.
a job, get a better job.
Mom is played by Kristen Davis, who you may know as Charlotte from Sex and the City.
That's who that is.
Yeah.
That's who that is. That's why I couldn't place her immediately, because I've never actually watched Sex in the City, but I know it enough from cultural osmosis
Yeah.
to be
Right.
like, wasn't she in some big show? Okay. Outside, Mom finds huge footprints in the grass, about which she is mildly curious.
Burned footprints.
Burned
no
footprints.
less. And she is,
Wait, we've missed the most important part of this. She says,
Oh.
"I'm going to walk you to school."
Yes.
Oh, yes. So she
Yes.
says, I'm going to walk you to school. Then she goes outside, finds footprints in the grass. Max says, I wish anything could happen so I didn't have to go to school today. And Mom says, that's not realistic, Max, which I love because the idea of anything happening that would prevent you from going to school
Right.
is totally unrealistic.
That kid has
can
perfect
never
attendance.
happen.
Max has
well,
perfect attendance.
for them, it is especially unrealistic
Yeah, that's
because
because it turns out the school is literally across the street.
school is across the street.
So when she
Yes.
takes
there
him
is
to
no
school,
traffic jam or car breakdown. Anything
No.
realistic that could prevent him from going to school.
even pretty bad weather, which there
Right.
will be some. But she walks him to school, she walks him to the edge of their yard.
she never leaves their property.
and points to the school across the road and is like, it's over there.
says, "Go, boy, cross the street on your own."
and he
You're
does.
dead now. You're a man.
Yeah, she doesn't even like hold his hand, walk across the street.
doesn't even watch him.
No.
He is still standing on the curb when she turns her back and goes back
Again,
inside.
not mom of the week behavior.
No.
And this is where she also tells him, oh, by the way, your dad and I aren't compatible.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later. Our marriage is in.
Hey, I know you're
Right.
10, but I'm really going to break down what it is for a marriage to dissolve.
Also,
Yeah.
go think about this all day.
Anyway, have a good day at school.
Have a good day at
Look
school.
both
Love
ways
you.
or don't. I'm not going to be around to
I
find
put lunch
out.
money in your backpack. Bye.
I'm not sure if I love you or your father.
I don't know if we're compatible or not, son.
George Lopez, Mr. Electricidad, is talking about tornadoes as one clear. This is in the classroom. Is talking about tornadoes as one clearly threatens to form outside. But students aren't paying attention. They're writing their own fantasy hero pairings,
Right.
which felt like the kind of thing that should maybe happen at the end of the movie when everyone's inspired, and not right now, but oh well.
Especially after everybody bullied the shit out of him.
Yeah,
for even
yesterday
thinking
they were
it.
like, fuck you for having things you think about. And then they were just like, my guys got slippery hands.
I'm Metal Boy and Plastic Girl was one of them.
I think one of them was Vomit Boy and Barf Girl.
Something like that.
I was like, they're both barf based.
Look,
They
when
were
you're an
trying.
11-year-old boy, that is the peak of
See,
humor.
that was those are the pitches from the other 6-year-old writers.
Right.
Oh,
Quite-
you're right.
Who didn't get a story credit.
There's a 6-year-old writer's room. They just locked a bunch of kids in a room and said, all right, kids, make a story.
Yeah.
Seems like it. Mr. Electricidad's daughter is sneezing a lot. Max tries to help, maybe, but her dad doesn't like that.
Help by pointing out that she's sitting under a vent,
Yeah.
which feels like a very 1950s understanding of where sickness comes from.
Very.
Like she's cold, that's why she's ill. Like you
Yeah.
expect that the remedy to that would be to like put her feet in a tub of hot water or
Yeah,
something.
put some potatoes in her socks. or
Yeah.
But also she says, like, you're going to get me in trouble, which doesn't make any sense.
I
don't
hate
underst-
this dynamic.
I don't understand
between
why. Yeah, it feels like
the
maybe her
two.
dad is abusive. Like if she catches her talking to someone, he's going to be
To a
mad.
boy.
Right.
It's really
So they're a little
confusing.
too young for that kind of dynamic.
But Mr. Electricidad is definitely like, why are you talking to my daughter?
Yes, he does. He has like, and he's like, I told you to make friends, but not with her. It's like, jeez.
Okay, fuck.
God
Yeah.
damn, dude. But then, God, Linus enters with Max's journal.
Oh,
he
yes.
has defaced it. Linus gives some kind of speech. George Lopez gets mad and says that both Max and Linus need to go to the principal's office. But actually, sorry, I don't want to skip past this. Sarah, would you like to tell us the bits of dialogue that happened in this moment?
Oh,
Your
yes.
favorite line.
My favorite.
She was quoting
I
this
was.
word for word along
Shockingly
with the movie.
accurately.
Oh, yes. He says, he ruined my dream journal. I did not. Mr. Electric, send him to the principal's office so he can be expelled at once.
Yes.
Something like that.
He ruined my dream journal! I did not! Mr. Electric, send him to the principal's office and have him expelled!
And he does it with like
Such fervor.
he does it with the fervor and the flair of like someone performing to the back of an auditorium.
Right.
You know?
He is stage acting.
It feel
on
the moment he
film.
did that, I was like, this kid is done. He did like 3 regional productions of The Music Man where he was that little kid.
He was
like,
Gavroche.
because because he had that energy of like back
Yes.
of the auditorium kind of presentation in that line.
I'm expelled at once.
But then, just as a full-blown tornado is coming at them and burst in the window open, Sharkboy and Lavagirl burst into the classroom. I'm looking for
Wow.
Max, says Lavagirl.
They were in the tornado? Question mark.
It seems
Your
like they
guess is
travel
good as
by
mine.
tornado.
She explains that they're taking Max to planet Drool, which he should know about because he made it up.
He dreamed it.
They run out to a shark-shaped rocket ship, which is a hard thing to say a bunch of times.
In a shark-shaped rocket ship.
Shark-shaped rocket ship, sharp-shaped
Sailing
rocket
through
ship.
the sky. Sharkboy and Lavagirl.
As they're sitting in the cockpit of this, they're asking Max how stuff works. So apparently he's the one who has created
So
all of
he's
this.
created everything we're going to see.
Kind of from here on out, he's created everything we're going to see.
Yeah.
And he remembers some things because he's like, oh yeah, I made autopilot. And then he gets to
Right.
planet Drool and suddenly he forgets everything.
When he gets to the planet Drool, he can't remember everything he's apparently supposed to. Max has more powers than any of them, they say. Everything that is or was began with a dream, says Lavagirl.
that quote from earlier in the movie.
Wait a minute, that's the Lavagirl?
Yeah,
her.
who came up with surely the most inspirational quote about dreams I can think of and about having a dream.
This planet is the resting place of all the dreams he's ever had, but the planet is dying beginning yesterday, and in 45 minutes, darkness will overtake all. Now, if you're wondering if we're going to revisit that ticking clock, no. Stop wondering.
Well,
that.
no, because they'll say we have 10 minutes left. We'll never make it.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I missed
also,
those. I missed any mention of the clock again.
There were a couple check-ins.
But they're like very brief check-ins. They're not like big dramatic
Because they
moments.
show a big 45 on the clock at this moment.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting to see lower numbers on his plot device, is what we called it.
Yes,
Right.
the plot device.
Sharkboy's got a
The
little
Sharks
tricorder.
gave him.
Yeah. He's got a tricorder. He's got a sonic screwdriver, whatever. And we see a big 45 on it. And so I'm expecting, we're going to check in with that. But we don't. We do not.
No, what was I going to say? Oh, right. And later when we do see, spoiler alert, eventually the 45 minutes runs out and darkness does envelop the planet and nothing happens? Like
It's very quickly overturned.
Right.
It's very quickly over. Well, I don't know if we got to the point where it totally won.
If you think about it, darkness has overtaken the planet
Well,
right
don't think
now.
about it.
Right
The
now.
child
because
wrote
it's
it.
night.
It's overtaken half the planet.
Oh,
Right.
And then it gets scary when it's dark.
I guess.
And they ain't got no nightlight.
Okay.
I don't know. A 6-year-old wrote this.
Think about that.
You're wow. Voiced on my own petard.
Next, I wrote, they have to go somewhere to get something to reverse this process.
That's accurate.
They mapped it all out in a conversation, but Abear and Sarah were doing bits, so I didn't hear it all. But here's the thing.
Would it have been any better if you
now
did?
with the benefit of hindsight, there's no way it would have mattered.
Do you think you missed
would have
important
said, They would have
exposition?
said, you got to go to the Dream to get a dream for Dream. You got to get a
Or Mrs.
dreamsicle.
Dream?
Right.
Dreamsicle, and it wouldn't have mattered at all.
On Planet Drool, issues are resolved almost as soon as they arise.
Pretty much.
If
Yeah.
you click your heels together and say dream 10 times,
and then they just
all
do,
your wishes
and then
come
it's,
right.
true.
it's over.
It's
and.
The Wizard of Oz comparisons are right there because there's tornadoes and they go to a special place or whatever.
Right.
But it is as if the Glinda the Good Witch had told Dorothy, you need the ruby slippers. And Dorothy was like, you mean those slippers right there?
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie was just, now we need to get the Tin Man. Oh, there's the
it's
Tin
just
Man.
Dora the Explorer.
Right there. Right. It
Yeah,
is
can
a
you
little
see
bit
that?
Dora the Explorer.
Now, a bunch of kids are stuck on an endless roller
Yeah.
coaster.
Right.
Who are they?
Now, if you're thinking,
Not important.
Ben, you skipped something
Ben,
there.
surely you skipped something.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
A bunch of kids are stuck on a giant roller coaster. Now, I will say, the visuals of this roller coaster were very nightmarish and dreamlike, and I kind
Sure.
of liked it. I was like, this is wild. I think that was the kind of imagery that if I had seen this as a kid, it would have been
that was the Unspoken Final
very
Destination
affecting.
3,
Sure.
the roller coaster one.
Yeah. We know. We've seen it.
But they're on this roller coaster they can't stop. Lavagirl melts the tracks, so that helps.
I mean, she sprays lava on the tracks, but it slows. All it does is
It
slows
stops the
it
train.
like
roller coaster
solidifies rather than melts.
I guess.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't
then-
really it doesn't melt the tracks or anything.
And then she shoots lava at the car that releases the restraints that are holding them.
Yeah.
But that turns out to not be a good thing because they were on the top, like the upside down part of a loop-de-loop. But the kids don't fall out, even though she just took off all their seatbelts. I don't understand.
Yeah, but then she releases them, and then they fall into like a platform, and then it doesn't matter what happens
and they're
to them.
fine. There are no
It's like a
stakes.
child wrote this
It
movie.
doesn't matter what happens to them now because now our three heroes are on their own roller coaster cart, and it is zooming towards the lair of a bad guy.
Right.
Dun dun dun.
Oh boy.
Also played by George Lopez.
Also, of course, played by George Lopez.
Sort of
Yes,
a
because
MODOK type.
It's not Mr. Electricidad. It's Mr. Electric.
Yeah.
really stretching there.
Again. Okay, so you have the Wizard of Oz comparisons, including the parallel characters,
Yes.
right? Except in the Wizard of Oz, they all made sense. The Wicked Witch was the mean old lady.
Okay.
The Tin Man, the Tin Man was the bleeding heart, a brother, all this stuff. The parallels in this movie between the characters don't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense because Mr. Electricidad is Mr. Electric. And those mean the same thing in different languages.
A Spanish class before? George Lopez is in this.
Hablas Espanol.
Gringo.
Wow.
No, but you're right. He's Mr. Electric. He's Mr. Electric, and George Lopez was Mr. Electricity, but in Spanish.
Yeah. And in sort of a child logic, I think there's a one-to-one the teacher being the bad guy is not that huge a leap.
Sure, but
it even
kind of comes the bad guy in the real world too.
He's kind of a jerk. He
just says one kind of insensitive thing,
and to a child, that's everything.
He tells the boy Max to make some real friends in the first of a long line of people just saying mean things to Max.
Yeah.
That's sort of all that happens to him in this movie is people just tell him like,
pretty nice.
Make real friends, dream better. Just everyone's just telling Max, hey
Max.
Dude, do better, idiot.
Get good. Skill issue L+ ratio max.
I kept waiting for the mom to show up and be the bad guy because she was the character I disliked the most.
She was definitely the character that gives Max sort of the most grief.
Yeah,
before we go to Oz.
All we see of her is just like, grow up, little kid.
Right.
Oh, my husband sucks and I don't like him because he's got a job he enjoys. Your dad and I are splitting up.
What is
Go
this,
have fun at
Matilda?
school.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she sucks. And I'm like, okay, she's gonna be a villain, right?
No.
Her analog is Sharkboy.
Well, or the Cookie Giants.
Well, they do appear as Cookie Giants.
Metaphorically, if we don't go together.
Interesting. You think Sharkboy and Lavagirl are mom and dad?
They are. They double up. They have them as Cookie Giants, but they also have them as Sharkboy and Lavagirl, metaphorically speaking, because later they talk about how they're incompatible, but then they're best friends.
Did we mention Sharkboy played by Taylor Lautner?
Taylor Lautner. That's why we're talking about this movie.
When do we get to Taylor Lautner doing flips?
That is the thing. That was sort of the main thing I wanted to bring up about this is that Taylor Lautner was a little martial arts student. That was sort of how he got his sort of foot in the door entertainment industry wise. Is he was like there's actually he was on like some he was in like some national karate contest that got like televised on like ESPN or something. And even like I think maybe slightly before this, but you can find, if you dig deep enough, you can find an old ESPN clip of like, and here's little Taylor Lautner doing his flips and stuff.
Taylor Lautner, what a little showboat. One of the new XMA Performance team members. This kid always comes out with signature moves, his own sense of style, and definitely takes the traditional moves to the extreme.
Sense of style a la the blue hair, I would presume.
And remove for the top. You know, it's not anything that anybody tells him to do. He just wants to do something a little bit flashier, and he wants to get a real high artistic impression score, and by coming out there and looking a little tough and buff.
Yeah, I mean, this kid's shredded. 4 hours of training a day. I mean, it's incredible. Oh, look at that. Corkscrew to the split. The first competitor to ever land that in competition.
So he's doing techniques that only the older kids or the adults are doing, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at 10 years old, there's no one that's integrating these kind of moves and this level of difficulty into their forms. Nice. Look at the focus and intensity. He holds the position at the end.
And in this movie, he does a lot of like flips and kicks and splits.
As a 10-year-old boy would do.
Completely never show up in Twilight.
No, and they should have.
They absolutely should have.
Let Jacob do a flip.
It's an absolutely wasted opportunity.
Well, because if they let him flip, Bella would have flipped over to Jacob.
Yeah, and anytime he's in a combat situation, he's a werewolf. But it really does feel like, man, you got Taylor Lautner, martial artist, and you're not having him do any martial arts.
Hey, Akshay, what's happening in Dreamland?
So they zoom through on the roller coaster. They zoom by a volcano. Lavagirl says, "My home," at half its normal power. That'll kind of matter later. They find themselves in Mr. E's lair. That's how
Mysteries.
That's how I have him down. I have him down as Mr. E or just E for the rest of my notes. He's a Bubble Lopez guy. Like you said, Ben Abert, he looks sort of like...
Thank you for letting me know you weren't talking to yourself.
Yeah. He looks sort of like MODOK.
Yes, or Krang.
Yeah. From the Marvel universe.
Right.
He's yelling at a monitor of kids to keep having fun and playing. I don't understand how that factors into his other goals.
Well, he doesn't necessarily have his own goals because he has a boss.
Yeah, but I don't know how that factors into his boss's goals either.
Well, his boss is also a child. We'll find out later on.
So Sharkboy Lavagirl say, "Why are you bringing misery to our planet? You're supposed to be running it." "I am running it right into the ground," he says. "Those are my orders. At this point, I am not clear what's happening or why." a bunch of sentient cables start attacking the kids.
The electricity.
They're like
Then
snakes.
this is where the electricity comes in because everything's kind of made out of cables, huh?
Oh, it's like that thing.
Like electricidad.
Now this is one part that kind of I think flew by us. We didn't comment on it in the moment. But they go as the electric cables start rearing their heads and they're prone to attack. Sharkboy and Lavagirl go, now, and then they just kind of fight.
Just sort of wing it.
So it feels like the kind of thing where it's like you would have set up like on my signal or whatever,
Yeah.
but nothing. It's just now, and then they just do what anyone would
And
do.
that's their
in
signal.
that
It's just now.
situation.
Right. Like,
Now, react.
yeah. And like from what we just saw in the movie, they weren't expecting to show up here.
No.
So was this
there was
just
no
some
plan
sort of
for this.
contingency plan they have just in case?
This is when we have a flashback to them creating a bunch of contingencies.
They have
if we happen to end up in Mr. Electric's lair and we're falling into the dream graveyard, here's what we do.
Now, if it's just electric plugs, then we do this. But if it's electric plugs in the general shape of dogs, then we do this.
Yeah.
That is, we're tabletop players. One of my favorite mechanics in this game called Blades in the Dark, because it's a heist-themed game,
Okay.
is that at any point, if you're not sure, like, okay, we're doing the heist, but shit, I don't know how to do this, you can flash back to you and the crew planning the heist so you can figure out how you brought the perfect thing for it.
That's brilliant.
Nice.
Which feels like this of, we just flash back to them being like, yes, now.
Yeah,
That's our signal. We should play Blades in the Dark sometime. I'd love to.
That does
y'all.
sound fun. And this is where I took the note. Bear, you brought this up, but Lavagirl's lava looks piss green. Like,
Hold on now. Sure. What color is your
Oxer.
piss?
all right.
Oxer, how you doing?
All right.
man.
You know what? Piss maybe. I think
buddy.
I think maybe I meant my mind was saying pea green as in the vegetable.
And then you
But
decided
then my hands not looking and trying to process what I'm seeing on the screen thought pee as in piss and wrote piss.
This
maybe?
episode brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield.
This brought to you by your local urologist. Schedule an appointment today.
Anyway, the
You're
lava
getting to
looks
that
really
age.
green.
Yeah.
And not at all red like
Well, just
lava
like they
would
talk
look.
about her having purple hair in the beginning. I'm like, objectively, this is neon
It's pink.
Yeah.
Are you guys colorblind?
Well, we were thinking that for the lava thing at the very least, because this is during most of the movie is a 3D. Some bits aren't, but this bit definitely is.
Everything on
Drool.
Planet
Everything
Drool,
on Drool is. And I was thinking like, well, it's probably because it's red and green glasses. It's probably just really hard to color it in such a way that the lava would look red.
It's hard to make lava orange the color we all know it is because the red lens of the stereoscopic 3D glasses would just block it out, basically.
Right. So they had to be kind of shifted over to like a green
In a
color.
way that does not work.
In a
at
way
all.
that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. She never reads as Lavagirl at any point.
It also makes, I was sort of wondering as we were watching this, like sometimes you see like old video games that are super pixely that look really bad on our like high def flat screen TVs.
Yeah.
But if you actually look at them on like a CRT TV and the edges aren't so sharp and perfectly rectangular, the things look a little softer and a little better. I sort of was wondering if this looks really bad because we're watching it literally 20 years later and technology has advanced. So
We're too far in the future for
Right.
this.
We were watching a DVD, so that's like a fourth the resolution of the TV it's playing on, right? So that's gonna make a difference,
Right.
for sure. They have a secret weapon to defeat Mr. Electric.
And what is that?
They say, Max, you're the secret weapon. Go beat him. But Max doesn't know how. And so they say, hey, remember the dream. And he says, I don't remember half my dreams. That's why I write them in my journal. And then Mr. Electric says he's going to take him to the dream graveyard. And he does.
They do be doing that.
So then they're on like a conveyor belt and they got to get to the dream lair where the dreams are The dreams are stored, but then they're being
You
destroyed.
could be making this up right
when
now.
they're
I
at
just
there.
watched this movie. You could be just saying dream anything. And I'm like, yeah, that probably
Yep, you have the
happened.
dream graveyard.
I
yeah.
just watched this movie.
They
Yeah.
need the journal apparently, but he left it behind, I guess.
on planet
on
Earth.
Earth.
On Earth.
Because it was in the schoolroom.
Right, but he was holding it when they came. Anyway,
Hey, shut up.
now
Stop thinking.
Sharkboy and Lavagirl are arguing, but it feels like they're arguing about backstory that we weren't let in on. He wants to be the king of the ocean.
She's having an existential crisis.
She's having an exit. In as much as she has a character arc, it's just I am useless at best and destructive at worst, and I want more for myself.
Well, it's that all she knows is that she, like everything she touches, she destroys. I think it's like very poetic in a way, kind of deep for a kids movie. Of like,
it could be. It
I
could have
destroy
been.
everything I do, but she like straight up asks Max, like, God, like, why did you make me this
Right.
way?
Yes, later she will have a full-on breakdown about that, but she does seem the whole time now seems to just be like, I need something more than this.
Help!
I need
help.
something else.
6-year-old writers, help! Please.
Help me! Help me! Help
Girl,
me!
do things.
Come up with something for me to do. They reach the end of the conveyor belt and they get dumped in a crater, which is, I guess, the dream graveyard.
Yeah, where they dump
Where all the
dump
old
the dead
dreams go.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Like Bing Bong.
I was thinking a lot about Bing Bong. Yeah, he's definitely down there.
Woof.
Being real sad.
Mr. Electric, back at his lair, receives some kind of communication from his higher up. There's a big bad who's a face floating around.
It's at the top of Mount Neverest.
Right.
Decent joke.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Good job, 6-year-old writer.
Yeah.
So the big, the face, sort of, Wizard of Oz face style again, is like, bring me the boy before he discovers his true powers and tears my kingdom apart. That's as clear a moment as you're going to get. We're back with Lavagirl and the rest of them. Lavagirl tells Max to dream, as that will help.
Harder.
That will help, I guess, because I guess Max is like, he's the god of this world. He can
Yeah.
bring anything into being if he can
Right.
just dream. But he has to sleep in order to dream, so he closes his eyes and he tries to sleep, but he's too hungry, and so they try to feed him, but that doesn't work.
I think it's at this point that Lavagirl is telling him to dream better and also to be less selfish, which felt weirdly harsh, especially to her creator, of whom she's asking these deep ontological questions.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like Max has done anything particularly
He really
selfish
hasn't.
yet.
He just
No.
shows up and everyone just calls him a little piece of shit.
He's just kind of been getting pushed around.
Yeah.
the
It's
whole time.
not selfish to forget things, or I'm the most selfish fucking bitch there's ever
Right.
been.
I think this is also the first time Sharkboy threatens to punch him.
Yeah, Sharkboy
Yes.
has got some anger issues, but he got
Sharkboy
he got
really
that
wants-
shark in him,
He really wants to punch Max.
Yeah.
as sharks do.
So Max tries to go to sleep so he can dream. He doesn't try to lie down. He just sits straight up and tries to sleep.
As
Right.
like a horse.
But this is when, because he was trained by horses,
Yeah.
much like Sharkboy was trained by
In the
sharks.
secret horse art
boy.
of sleeping straight up with your knees locked. Yeah.
Now this is the part where I said for the first but not the last time, oh no, what are these? Because this is when little bubble guys start invading.
Oh, yeah. Who are never really explained.
Never at
they're
all.
We
just
don't like
singing.
everything. As much as we talk about there being no logic to Dream World,
Yeah.
or Planet Drool, or whatever it's called, there is at least some through line to things that Max experiences in the real world. In a second, we're going to get to the world of Milk and Cookies. We saw Milk and Cookies earlier. All the
Right.
major characters are sort of played by, in quotes, people from his real world. These bubble things,
Nowhere.
no mention of bubbles in the
No
real
mention
world.
of
We also
bubbles.
never see them sort of where they come from or what sort of purpose they serve in this world. They just sort of show up a couple times with no explanation.
These are just little clumps of bubbles with facial features that are just kind of floating around. And this was the only part where the 3D effect felt menacing to me.
You
Is
really,
that they-
At one point, you said if I was high, we'd have to stop the movie.
yeah,
Yes.
you struggled with the bubble friends.
I did. The little bubble guys freaked me the
I don't know. I think
out.
they're just intrusive thoughts. They're just floating on by and getting in my face.
Anyway, they don't matter. Sharkboy continues to threaten to punch Max because he won't go to sleep. But then Max finds Tobor, the robot that he and his dad abandoned. He tells Tobor to awake, and now that Tobor is awake, Tobor can answer any question they ask. Sharkboy asks if he's the king of the ocean. Tobor says, nope.
Yeah.
Get fucked, kid.
Lavagirl asks something about,
Am I evil?
do I matter? Am I evil? And he says, you're pretty great.
He says, listen, you're the
Yeah.
one woman in this movie. You're doing all
You're
right.
doing
Yeah.
fine. Max asks how to win the movie. Tobor says to go to the land of milk and cookies where the dreams are.
Why were you looking for dreams in the dream graveyard?
Yeah.
When you could be looking in the land of
This
milk
is
and
one of the many
Obviously.
dream places in the dream area on the dream planet where the dreams might be. So he says, go over there. That's where
We're all having a stroke.
Can you guys imagine right now if I hadn't written any of this down and we were trying to remember? We watched this tonight.
I'm already
There's
like,
Yeah.
no way.
yeah, they dreamed, I think.
And what's extra difficult is there's no sort of logical progression. They go to this place where they acquire
Yes.
this thing
Right.
that
No,
allows them to
there
do something in the next
isn't.
place. These places they go to, they could go from the dream graveyard to the land. They go from the dream graveyard to the land of milk and cookies to, I think, the ice place comes next. They could go to any of these places in any order.
It doesn't matter.
You could rearrange, and this if this movie was one of like those little slidey puzzles with the 9 squares,
Yeah.
as long as the first one and the last one were good, the middle could you could just put in any order
Survivor
and it would still
hates to
make the
see him
picture.
coming.
They say to Tobor, take us to the land of milk and honey.
And
Please.
Tobor says,
Take us, Moses,
Jesus.
to the land of milk and honey. That's to the promised land. And Tobor's like, I can't move.
"Can't move because I only have half a body.
Right. But then Sharkboy says,
You can move your mouth and eyes
because he's been moving his mouth and eyes. And that
he's been
means
talking and blinking."
that now his mouth and eyes can float.
Yep, obviously.
So that means at any moment, our eyes could just detach from our
Yeah.
body and just
Yeah.
float. Because
Yeah,
I
man.
can move them.
Yours don't.
Whoa.
For the listener, Sarah's eyes just sort of popped out,
Yeah,
circled around
they
her
just
head,
did
and
a
went
big
back
circle.
Yeah.
A-Bear's
Yeah.
cat played with them for a second.
in. Yeah.
She saw a hot lady and they went a wooga.
Ah,
They went a wooga.
And then my
they-
tongue rolled out my mouth.
Right. And then she saw money and they turned into dollar
And that
signs.
hot
It was
woman,
crazy.
Yeah.
my wife.
Hey.
I'm married now.
Your
Bing,
wife
bing,
has
bing,
been here this
bing.
whole time?
So anyway,
They float on his facial
They float on his
features.
face, but he says he's losing the train of thought, which is an actual floating train.
That
looks
he
more
was
like a bus.
It does look a lot like a bus.
It looks like a bus.
It is not traditionally train shaped.
No, it's segmented like a train, but it looks like a school bus.
Can I jump in
Yes,
here?
please.
Because I had a real issue with this scene.
Tell us.
Because they're floating on Tobor's facial parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Tobor's like, there's the train of thought. You got to jump on the train of thought. They jump on the train of thought that carries them to their destination. This takes about 15 seconds.
Very short.
Tobor could have easily floated that last 15 seconds, as evidenced by the fact that after they jump off the train of thought, Tobor is there to be like, okay, guys, see you later.
Yeah.
What was the train of thought for?
The train of thought wouldn't it be neat to have something metaphorically called the train of thought?
That's it.
And
Well, so Tobor has a warrant out for his arrest in the land of milk and
Can't
cookies.
cross state
He
lines?
can't cross
He
state
can't go
lines.
too far from
Exactly.
his
So he
house
got him
with
as
an
far as he
anklet.
could get him, but
Got
they
it.
got to go the rest of the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
themselves. Tobor
That's-
knows what he did.
that's tough. Well, so they crash the train,
Right.
And they
Idiots.
fall into the land of milk and cookies. And then here's what I wrote: what does it mean when a train of thought wrecks? Asks Max, unintentionally summarizing the movie.
You know what? I'm
Yeah.
sure kids had a real fun time watching this because it's just their brain.
I suppose.
I mean, we can talk about this as we sort of talked about with Zathura, because we talked about with Zathura, like child me maybe would have enjoyed this more. But I remember seeing this, as I said, in sort of bits and pieces on Disney Channel. And my reaction to it then, from what I recall, is not that dissimilar to my reaction to it now. When this came out in 2005, that was the year I turned 13. So by the time it was on Disney Channel, I would have been maybe 14. So maybe a little too old for it. But like my reaction to seeing the scenes, and if you can imagine how hard of a time we had watching this from start to finish in one full sitting, imagine watching just sort of chunks of it broken up by commercials.
Yeah.
My memories of this movie is just like, it being impossible to follow and having no idea what was going on at any moment.
Which is why it's perfect for like a 3-year-old. They don't even know what's going on in the world.
Yeah, but this you're right. That's the highest praise we can give this movie.
Yeah.
Is it is perfect for the demographic for whom jingling car keys is also entertaining.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but again, it's a shame because I think if you'd have just taken those wacky ideas and just got them into a story structure that
Right.
you can follow, then people above the age of 6 could have also enjoyed it, and I don't think it would have detracted from the 6-year-olds' enjoyment.
No, probably not.
I think
It
if
may have
anything, they'd
actually
like
added-
it more because they would have had something to get more invested in. You know?
Right.
Like I have 5 nieces, right? Little nieces.
Brag about it.
And the first thing they do every time, like they're watching something, the
Yeah.
first thing they do is they go, "I'm her, you're her." You're him, I'm her.
Right.
Like they start assigning themselves characters to follow. And when
Right.
something bad happens to that character, it matters to them. And when something good happens, they feel victorious. When they don't know what is happening,
Yeah.
Right.
that's a detraction. I don't care how young you are. Like a story is better than not a story.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And when anything can happen, nothing matters.
Yeah.
And so obviously children, the target audience for this movie is not watching it in this way. But I think they still understand at some point that like you're not rewarded for really paying attention to this movie.
No.
Because even like we compared this to Dora the Explorer, even that has this sort of, that Dora has stakes in a
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
that Sharkboy and Lavagirl does not.
You know,
We're
this
going to
is
get to
just
something
shapes
in a
and
little
colors.
bit where Max and Sharkboy are presented with a puzzle that they figure out immediately.
Yeah,
And I feel like
yeah.
as a child, I would be like, well, why does any of this matter? Why should I care?
So now they're in the land of sweets, eating goopy chocolate Augustus Gloop style.
It is spraying at the camera,
Yeah.
making full use of that 3D.
Yeah, how many times did they barf on the TV?
They did like a spit take of goopy stuff directly at the camera 4 or 5 times,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
They're floating down a milk river on a cookie. The milk is warm. This will help Max dream, maybe. They really need him to sleep. But there's a problem. Now, I don't need to tell our listening audience this, and I don't need to tell anybody in the room this. You're all people of letters. You all know.
Gentlemen and scholars.
You all know your academics. You know that if you dream giant cookies, something has to be dreamt to consume them.
Obviously.
Which is
and
what
well,
Lavagirl
every
says.
Action has an equal and opposite reaction.
All the
Right.
dreamed cookies
This is
got to have
science.
cookie eaters.
Yeah.
If you give a mouse a cookie, that's because you dreamt them both.
Yes. That was
'cause you
irresponsible of
made
you.
'em.
You dreamed the cookie without thinking about the mouth.
And then you had to dream. Yeah.
The
So
natural consequence.
Who would dream of a mouse with no cookie?
and in reverse, who would dream of a cookie with no mouse?
in a story that is violently unconcerned with cause and effect.
Right.
If you dream a cookie, you must dream something to consume
Therefore.
it is laid down like an a priori law of the universe.
Yes.
So, who are the cookie eaters? His giant parents.
Giant parents eat giant cookies.
They are dressed as sort of, imagine an oil painted portrait of Henry VIII and one of his wives.
But also they're cookies.
Their clothes are all cookies.
Right.
Do they say anything? I don't think
I don't think
so.
they do. I think they just eat cookie.
They pick
David,
up
David
to
Arquette
speak.
eat cookie, then spit it out.
David Arquette
Right.
picks up the cookie they're on. They all jump off the cookie. He takes a bite. He spits at the camera. That's the end of their
and
thing.
he made $1 billion.
And essentially, Sharkboy and Lavagirl and Max are in the exact same situation
Nothing has
narratively
changed.
they were before they came to the Milk and Cookies.
Nothing has
They are
changed.
still in sort of, this is also just for reference for the viewer the listener who has maybe not seen this movie. This is filmed in Robert Rodriguez's green screen style,
Yeah.
where it's
Yes.
just a bunch of actors in costumes and nothing around them is real. But this was 2005, before that could really look good.
Yeah. The
Especially on
lighting's
an
off at
indie
times.
budget like Robert Rodriguez was using.
But it's also honestly hard for me to judge what the effects looks like because we were looking at this through red and green glasses,
Right.
red and blue glasses. So
But essentially, what we have
okay.
is like 2 to 4 human actors standing in front of what is essentially a PlayStation 1 cutscene.
Yeah.
Wondering, well, how do we get out of here? Which is where we just were before the land of milk and cookies.
I had the thought so many times where I'm looking at these kids doing the scenes and I'm like, y'all are doing incredible work because there's no way you can understand what's happening. They're being asked to take lines seriously.
I was just
that
thinking.
don't make any sense to me, the audience member, in context. And I'm remembering that they're standing day after day in a big green room.
Right.
And he's like, now look over there and say this. And there's no way it's being shot in sequence. So They can't possibly have any idea what's going on.
I was just thinking, like, this must have been so incredibly hard to memorize as a script because it is just go to the dream to collect the dream, and then after you dream harder, you'll dream again.
And given all of that, I think this trio of kids puts forth a heroic effort at trying to imbue their words with some stakes.
Good job, Taylor Lautner.
Yes.
You did it.
Yeah.
Especially the evil boy who we all loved.
Yes.
And all agreed should have done more than he seems to have done after this.
Linus was... I mean, there's a scene where Taylor Lautner literally chews the scenery.
Yeah.
But Linus somehow chewed the scenery harder.
He was great.
They're still trying... Oh, wait. Okay, so Mr. E, he's taking a pack of weird electric skeleton dogs on a walk to find the kids. The big bad head appears to egg him on. That doesn't matter. Okay,
Don't worry about it.
They're still trying to get Max to sleep. They sing Max a lullaby.
Yes. The one thing I remembered about this movie,
hang on, let me find
with
the
any
lyrics
clarity
to this. I had all
into
the time.
adulthood, was the dream song.
Yes.
If you, the listener, know anything about this movie,
It has
if you know
to be this
one
song.
thing about this movie, it's this song right here.
Now, to get him to sleep at first, for a second, Lavagirl tries to sing a quick lullaby, and it's very short, and it sounds vaguely lullaby-ish.
It's just saying "dream, dream, dream" over.
Right.
and over again, sort of
Dream the
quietly.
dream of the Dreamatorium.
Okay, I have the lyrics when we are
Okay,
ready.
but yeah, so now Sharkboy takes over.
So he
and
sings. Close your eyes, shut your mouth, dream a dream and get us out. Dream, 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 dream. Verse 2. Hit the hay, fast asleep. Dream a dream, you little bleep. He says bleep.
He says bleep.
He says bleep. Dream, 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 dream. There's 5 verses of this.
The next one, if
Yes.
I may, just relax, lay about, or my fist will put you out.
Still threatening to punch him.
Dream. I don't have children of my own, and God hoping I never will. But if I were to sing a child to sleep, I don't think I would say, fall asleep, little kid, or I'll punch you till you're unconscious. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I think Sharkboy has some anger issues.
So, and not only are the words very aggressive, the melody is like, it's unsettling. It's the sort of melody, it sounds kind of adventurous, but it sounds like, ooh, things are afoot. It does not sound like relax, go to sleep.
Here it is,
No.
what's afoot. He's doing little flips.
He's also flipping
reminds
around.
me of when I was a very young boy. My grandmother would sing a little song when me and my brother were getting into her car to remind us to buckle up. And the song was buckle up for safety, buckle up for safety, always buckle up. And the way it ended on sort of a minor key there definitely made it sound like the implication there was it ends a little scary. The idea being always buckle up or you'll fly through the
Always
windshield.
buckle up.
Right.
The Phantom of the Opera?
And I'm sure she didn't intend that.
Again,
my dear sweet grandmother.
Sure.
But it is amazing what a minor chord can convey.
Right.
Is all I'll say.
So again, I'm going to talk about my fucking nieces. I compose songs and music and stuff sometimes, and a few times I have written little lullabies, not with words, but just I'll sit down at the piano and I'll write what I think is a nice, soothing little song, and I'll like send it over.
Yeah.
And never in a million years would anything I write that was lullaby-like be like dun 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 dun.
While you're doing backflips
Well,
in
I'm
the back.
flipping around and being like, you sleep yet? You sleep yet? Because if not, I'm going to punch you in the goddamn face.
You little bleep.
You little fuck.
What, are you trying to put a baby to sleep on coke?
That's what Sharkboy's doing because the sharks taught him how to do cocaine.
And also, while this is happening, Lavagirl is having a full-on breakdown.
She is.
Because she's next to sleeping Max, whispering themes like, "Dream about me, Max. I need to know who I am. Not just destruction or a simple flame. Dream of me as something good."
Yeah. But he doesn't dream anything for her. He dreams up Sharkboy a motorbike.
He dreams up a shitty bike.
And that's all he manages to do before.
Hey, he dreams her up a dress later.
Oh, that's true. But in this moment, that's all he dreams.
She gets a whole piece of fabric.
Right.
But then Mr. Electric shows up with a big herd of electric things, and Taylor Lautner tries to fight him. And Max,
First they try to get on the dream bike, and it doesn't go anywhere because
Because he didn't
as
dream
we
of
said
gas.
jokingly,
He
Max
forgot to
didn't dream of gas. And then Max said out loud, I forgot to dream of gas. And we all looked at each other like, is this an elaborate prank?
Yes.
And then Max pulls off a piece of the hover bike and uses his bow staff skills that I assume
The sharks taught
the
him.
sharks trained him in their shark ways.
Sharkboy does, yeah.
Including ninjutsu.
Right.
To hit all the electric plug animals.
Now, then I think I blacked out because I think other stuff happened. But then the next thing I knew was that Lavagirl was a puddle.
Yeah, I also kind of missed
I don't know
that.
how or why she became a puddle.
We did see Lava Slug. Sarah, do you remember what happened here?
I remember Lava Slug.
Her body was entirely melted. She was just a head on a puddle.
She dreamed a dream.
Yeah, and so Max tries to help with it, but all he can come up with is a banana split boat because he's still hungry, I guess.
Yeah.
But then she's unblobbed, so it didn't
She's
matter.
fine.
Yeah, she's fine.
It didn't matter. None of that
matters.
That's the summation of every sequence.
Oh my God,
None of that
this
mattered.
is Waiting for Godot for kids. None of this fucking
waiting
matters.
for Play-Doh.
Let me, okay.
But,
take a quick poll because I learned something recently.
Yes.
yeah?
Waiting, have you, maybe, and you're a theater guy.
Yeah.
So maybe you know this, but
We both got
apparently.
theater background.
Do you have a theater degree?
I do.
Oh.
Yeah.
I double major Spanish
So
theater.
maybe you
Yeah,
both
we
know
both
this.
studied theater.
I learned recently that the proper pronunciation is waiting for Godot. Is that something either of you have ever heard before?
Yes.
I have, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you can metaphorically interpret it as being God and God missing from humanity or what have you.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I've heard it plenty. Both
Waiting for Sharkboy.
waiting for Sharkboy.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, let's see. Okay, so she's unblobbed because none of that mattered. So they take the boat into the Milk River where the cable dogs can't follow
Why can't they follow?
because they're electric and they
Because
short
they can't.
out.
Because they can't.
That's-
and they'll drown.
They're made of electricity and they
Yeah.
can't get
Electricity
that
will
wet.
drown.
They're floating on the stream of consciousness.
Whoa.
And here I wrote, that would be cool if any of the symbolism thus far had corresponded with anything.
Yeah.
But it won't. It's just a cool name
None
for a
of
stream.
it matters.
Yeah. It's not like the stream of consciousness is going to have something to do with their consciousness. It's just the name of something they're
Yeah.
on. Which sucks, right? Because the 6-year-old didn't come up with that.
No.
So that means
Right.
that Robert Rodriguez was like, here's clever. Do you want to do anything with it? No, I do
No.
not.
Anyway,
You
moving
can't
on.
even blame the kid for that one.
Right, just like something we're going to get to later.
Yeah.
And one of my very small minor nitpicks with this movie that made me irrationally mad, but we're not there yet.
Okay.
So now they're on the banana boat and they're talking. And they're talking about how they have to go after the crystal heart.
Yeah.
Here's what. Okay, I just have to write what I wrote, or I just have to read what I wrote. Now they're after the crystal heart, which is the treasure of the land of ice in the ice castle. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah.
There's some kind of queen of ice, and Lavagirl doesn't like her because she's cold, and Lavagirl is hot.
Yeah.
Lavagirl can't follow because she'll burn the snow bridge.
Yes. So you have to cross a bridge to
Right.
get there.
Yes, except Max says she can, so she does.
Because sometimes when Lavagirl touches something, it burns. And other times when she touches something, it doesn't.
It does
When
not.
she was on the cookie raft, she laid down and tried to use a marshmallow as a pillow,
Right.
but she immediately toasted it. But she was able to sit on the banana boat without burning it
Didn't burn
and
that.
was able to
Bananas famously flammable.
Don't burn. Right.
Not flammable.
At all.
Yeah.
I insulated my house with bananas.
Foster, bake the no.
Fun fact, fire extinguisher is just filled with pureed banana.
Yeah. So, and now, Lavagirl, she's crossing the snow bridge. She must be stopped from sneezing. Sharkboy fails to stop her from sneezing. He is falling now on the edge of an abyss. Lavagirl is now sleepwalking across the bridge because fuck me, fuck everything.
You know how it is. You sneeze and then you fall asleep.
Sharkboy is no longer in danger. He's not on the edge anymore.
He's dangling on the edge of a bridge and then just stands up. He's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Max looks on. The robo-dogs come up across the hill, but if the slumbering Lavagirl awakes to move faster, she will reheat. Despite this, Sharkboy yells. She awakens, reheats. They run, destroying the bridge behind them.
So it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's good. They
None
did
of
it.
that mattered.
There was a sequence of concerns and actions.
Right.
They didn't connect in any specific order. And the stakes were never clear.
And that's called an anxiety disorder.
Yes.
A bunch of stakes, but none of them mattered. It was fine.
I think honestly,
was that why I related to this movie so much?
I think honestly that's part of what bothered me so much. Not just that there wasn't a clear story, but that it was so anxiety inducing to just watch. Just like it is like a bad dream of just like, what do we got to do? I gotta get the kid to the bridge, or there's no bridge, no more sneezing, or I'll fall down. Like it's just
Right.
It's just endless worrying with no clear
If you
direction.
sneeze, the electric dogs will get you.
and it's made worse because we've talked about probably on the show before, but we've talked about this individually. The way that we watch movies, is that I you and I, and I'm sure you and most people to a certain extent, whether or not they realize this, are analyzing the narrative as it goes and thinking about what is being set up and what's going to pay off, and where is this going, essentially, trying to sort of predict what's going to happen next. And when you try to do that there are some movies where that you can do that, and there's some movies where you can't do that for certain reasons. And for this movie, you can't do that because there is no, as you've said, there is no cause and effect.
Yeah.
Nothing that has happened will have an impact on what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
So if you try to use what has happened, your lived experience, to make any kind of prediction or guess about what's going to come next, you're just going to be completely wrong, because something that has never been introduced, or at the very least has never been important, will just sort of pop up.
Right.
And it sort of makes it maddening trying to pay attention to this movie.
It's like you've been writing a really long equation across a chalkboard, and then somebody's been coming around behind you just erasing it as you go. And so then you get to the end, you put an equals sign, and there's just nothing you can put on the other side of that equation.
It's like,
because it's all gone now.
Very early in my improv career, I was in a scene with a guy. This is the first time I ever got just completely flustered on stage. Because I was in this scene with some guy, no real suggestions or anything. And the way he initiated, he asked me, "Are you ready for an adventure?" And I, being an improviser of 3 or 4 weeks or whatever, said, "Yeah." And he looked at me and said, "No, you're not." And that's essentially, and then proceeded to make fun of my look. In a way that had nothing to do with anything that he just said. And that is what this movie does to the viewer.
Yeah. And that man was John Mulaney.
No, you're not.
I think his exact follow-up, his exact response to me saying yes was, "No, you're not. Look at you. You look like a combination of Josh Gad and Jonah Hill," which was just like, and my response, I told him this many months later, but my response in my head that I didn't say out loud, which I wish I would have, when he said, "No, you're not," and for some reason the audience laughed, my reaction in my head was, "Well, fuck me then." And just like, because what am I supposed to do at this point?
Right.
What do you need me here in this scene
Right.
for?
This is your scene now, bud.
Right. You're just going to say whatever the hell you want, and I'm just going to sort of stand around.
Just pull a Fozzie Bear, waka waka.
Yeah.
It sucks, right? Because there's two, I've been less and less, obviously, these days, but every once in a while, I still find yourself in a scene with somebody who's just very bad. And I am of two minds, right? I'm like, I could try to salvage this, or I could say, fuck you. Like, because you just screwed us over. I could go, oh, come on, Pete. I know I can do it this time. Like, I could lean into, like, you telling me I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Or I could just be like, what are we doing? What are we doing right now?
Right.
What's this? You look stupid, too. You want to do a roast battle? We'll do a roast battle.
Yeah. Anyway, if you've never done improv before and you want to understand what it is like to try to do improv with someone who is bad at improv, just watch Sharkboy and Lavagirl.
Oh, boy, that's...
This episode brought to you by The Second City.
The Second City.
God, I miss improv.
We'll talk more about that later.
Mr. E, they made it across the snow bridge, but you're never going to believe it. That does not matter. Because
Doesn't matter.
Mr. E gets the drop on him.
Yeah, he pops up from under the ice like a submarine at the North Pole.
Yes, and Max says, this is all wrong. Someone else's dreams are in here. Don't know how he came to that conclusion just now, but he did.
How did someone else's dreams get in his dreams? It's unsure.
It's never explained. They are held captive atop a big hill, tall thing by the big bad, who of course turns out to be Linus the Bully, or as he is known in this world, Minus.
What?
Whoa.
He
Roasted.
became powerful here by reading and changing Max's dream journal.
Right.
It's like he got the first-hand edition of the Bible and then made his changes, and then it was the Book of
And then it's-
Mormon.
Right.
And then the actual God in actual heaven was like, I gotta abide by that now.
Yeah.
Rewrite reality to
He
bend the
rewrote.
rules,
Oy,
whatever.
boy.
In the beginning, there wasn't
Right.
the heavens and the earth. He blah, 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 blah. He makes confusing threats to the three kids, and then he dumps them into a hanging bird cage, and he goes to sleep so he can dream more bad things to happen.
Oh, this was but right before this was the electric eels.
Oh, yes. Sharkboy is
Right.
held over a tank of electric eels briefly.
And as I pointed out while we were watching it,
It doesn't
despite the
matter.
fact that literally in the previous 30 seconds before this, the whole big problem was if Lavagirl stands on a cold thing, she'll melt it.
Yeah.
In this scene, Lavagirl is somehow held captive by a block of ice up to her sort of knees,
Yep.
which, per the rules of the movie, should be the one thing that can't hold her.
Hey,
And
here's
yet
the thing.
here it is holding her.
Check this out. I got an internal body temperature somewhere around 97 degrees.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would melt that ice.
Eventually.
Not very quickly, but like if you
eventually.
left me alone in that, I would just melt the ice
Right.
around
Yeah.
me. It would
Wow.
melt.
You really are powerful.
I would melt enough that I could pull my feet out.
Let's
for
test that
sure.
right now. Let me go get a bucket.
You know what, guys? Let's do some science.
Yeah.
Everybody get frozen in a bucket. Let's see how long it takes us to get out.
So now they're in a big floating bird cage. And oh no, the bubble faces are back.
The bubbles are back. And they're doing their little song and dance.
What are they? Why are they? Why are they singing? They're singing at a frequency that sends Sharkboy into a shark frenzy.
Because as you know, sharks hate sopranos.
They hate high-pitched singing.
They hate sopranos.
Sends them into a frenzy, which
Tenor
allows
purists.
him. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. We all know you got your shark whistles, which produce a note higher than the human ear can hear, but it just makes sharks go crazy.
It makes them bite through cages
Yeah.
and rip stuff
Yeah.
apart.
It makes them do things they have already done in this movie, but now they're angry while they're doing it.
Hey, scientists out there, has anybody tried playing this audio of the little bubbles to a real shark?
Marine biologists
Out
let
there,
us know.
please play this for a shark.
Now, I do know that a lot of tourists, if you have a lot of money, you can do that thing where you swim with sharks, but you get in a scuba suit and you go under and you're actually in a cage
Yeah.
protected from the sharks around you. If you brought this sound down there, would they be able to just get
Yeah,
right
that's what I'm saying. Could they just fucking rip through you?
I mean, we
Yeah.
can just take this DVD and a laptop down to the shed aquarium and see what happens.
I've
Yeah.
been saying that all day.
Shed, you cowards, let us in.
Something confusing happens with trying to find Sharkboy's dad.
That's the whole movie right there.
Yeah.
That's the tagline.
Then Lavagirl burns up the dream journal by accident because she held it. And this is, again, one of those what does she burn, what doesn't she burn moments.
Right.
Plots.
Because just holding a book incinerates it instantly.
Like fully gone.
Just like
not even ash.
She Thanos snaps the dream journal just by holding it with hands that have previously touched things that were just fine.
And this is where she has her meltdown that you alluded to earlier, Sarah.
Yes.
Meltdown. Haha. Where she says, "Why did you make me out of lava? Why, Max?" she demands. And she's also mad that the duo is not compatible like his parents.
Yeah.
I missed that, to be fair.
Yeah.
I gave up on looking for anything like that 7 or 8 scenes ago.
Yeah, but they're not compatible, I guess.
Because dad is a shark.
Yeah.
No,
and mom
here's the
is
thing.
a lava.
I think it's the other way around because
Yeah?
in his parents' relationship, I'm trying to make too much sense of this, but in his parents'
You will not be rewarded.
in his parents' relationship, his dad is the sort of sweet and more passive
Yeah.
one, which Lavagirl kind of is in the movie, and his
burns
mom,
through their finances like lava.
Right, but his mom is very sort of is more aggressive and
The stockbroker shark.
confrontational.
Right.
So she's more like Sharkboy.
She has those gills.
And she has gills.
Yeah.
So she's mad, and then they remember that they got to go get the crystal heart.
They said,
thing.
not now. Woman, stop having feelings.
Yep, that didn't matter.
Later.
That didn't matter. They got to go get the crystal heart. Minus tells electricity to destroy Max's most precious dream, i.e. Sharkboy and Lavagirl.
No.
Feels like that's what he's been trying to do this whole time.
But do it better.
But now it's been said aloud.
Do it harder and better, please. Harder, better, faster, stronger, Daft Punk.
The kids take a Mario 64 ice slide to a room with a giant ice pillar with the heart at the top. Sharkboy tries to climb to get it. He fails so bad. Max climbs it. He does fine. But then the pillar breaks apart and Max drops the heart. Lavagirl catches it, and then that freezes her solid.
But don't worry, she made a lava. She gets out, right?
Nope.
What?
She is just frozen solid.
But things she touched melt.
But not now.
Oh, you're so right, Bessie.
Because if her whole body is touching
Oh.
something, then no.
No, why would it? What a ridiculous question for you
Silly.
to have asked.
Do you remember how in science class you learned the difference between endothermic and exothermic reactions?
Yeah.
Turns out neither of them matter right now.
Because I'm 10.
Giant ice golems rise up and escort them before
Yeah, they don't fight them. They just escort them.
They just
very
arrest them,
calmly.
essentially.
Yeah. They escort them to the Ice Queen, who is George Lopez's daughter from before, remember? Because she was cold or something.
Max's little friend from class who
Can't be friends.
I assume he has a crush on, but that's not from the movie. That's just from me having seen movies before. And in a more normally written and structured movie, he would have had a crush
You're
on her.
filling in the gap where a crush would have made sense.
Yes, exactly.
Also, here he calls her a princess, even though they've called her a queen this entire time. The script doesn't pay
Well,
attention
get
to
her
itself.
title
And
right.
also, one of the ice monsters is her dad.
Her dad is here, and it's voiced by George Lopez. So now we have like a triple character.
Right.
It would have made so much more. You could have just made the evil guy, George Lopez, her dad, and had that be like a family dynamic thing where
Yeah.
he's trying to keep her trapped
Yeah.
here or something like that. But it's just a different ice golem who is also George Lopez.
And has eyes.
And has eyes.
Does
And I
have
hate it.
eyes. Not enough characters to go around, man. You gotta have old G Lopez pulling triple duty.
yeah.
He was just like, I want so much more money if I'm going to do
Please,
this.
please, please. I'll
Hey,
voice anyone.
Hey, Robert Rodriguez, you're doing all this like on the cheap. You did green screen. You're kind of a pioneer in that, so that's cool for what it's worth. I want 90% of the budget of your small
Right.
budget film.
My hit sitcom is about to hit syndication, and I'm making it more money than I could ever possibly need. I'm about to have a talk show on TBS for some reason, but I just want to be half the cast of this movie.
And well, look, to be fair, shortly thereafter, he kind of disappeared. So he made his nest egg, baby.
Yeah.
After kind of, it's not too long after this that he gets that talk show on TBS, that what I was talking about,
Right,
and then
but-
Conan sort of does to him what Jay Leno kind of did to Conan.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, that was a shame. And now they need to solve an ice puzzle. Never mind.
No, fuck that puzzle. Ain't no puzzle.
Never mind. He saw the answer in a dream. Puzzle over.
Made me so mad.
Is this the thing?
No, but
we're still not there. Okay.
No, this is the thing I'm mad about that I haven't talked to you about yet is incredibly minor that it makes me wonder if I should even bring it up at all.
No, bring it up.
This is big enough to be worth bringing up. Is that the Ice Queen or Princess, whatever, presents them with sort of an Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade test. Right, here's a bunch of ice crystals. If you pick the real one, you can keep it. And Sharkboy says...
How are they going to work this out, I wonder?
Well, hold on. Sharkboy says, pick that one. And Max says, it's the one you're wearing around your neck. That is not an exaggeration. That is not me removing dialogue.
No, that's
time.
it. That is as fast as it goes.
Cliff Notes version of a 4-minute scene.
Nope.
It is 2 lines of dialogue.
That's how
and
it goes.
The puzzle is immediately solved.
Yep. They bothered to animate a bunch of ice pillars
obelisks
growing
rising
up from the ground, and then he just goes, "Is that one?"
Oh, some animator was fucking mad that day.
I'm not an animator, and I was mad this day because this could have been a scene. This could have been we could have watched Max go through the thought process and figured there's this idea in detective and procedural TV shows like Monk and things like that, where the mystery has to be, it can't be so obvious that you get it right away, but it has to be a little bit obvious so that you can keep up. And when the real murderer is revealed, you're not totally caught off guard.
It should be clear enough that hypothetically the viewer could have solved it.
Because there is a sort of psychological reward when you as the viewer are like, I knew it just like Mr. Monk did. And that makes you want to watch it more. And this scene completely violates that. Any chance that you, the viewer, would have had to sit and think, I wonder what the answer to this is just completely interrupted.
It's gone.
By Max immediately knowing the answer like some sort of dope.
Yeah.
He's a dork and I don't like him.
Get that 10-year-old. Roast his ass.
Dork. So anyway, now that he's solved the puzzle that wasn't a puzzle, the queen princess gives him a crystal around her neck that will make another crystal work. They sled on a frozen Lavagirl across the ice tundra.
Which was hysterical.
Very funny. Sharkboy pulls out his plot device and a river opens up. He swims through it to fight Mr. Electric. Mr. Electric makes a very long "what's up" joke, and then he dumps electric eels into the water to shock Sharkboy, who now appears to be dead. But don't worry, Lavagirl is now totally unfrozen.
Yeah, she's fine now. Don't worry.
There was no sequence of that happening. She just is fine.
She just appears. She just walks up from the background. I do want to point out that the only time we see Sharkboy in any kind of water seems to be the one place in this movie,
the one place he's
Planet
vulnerable,
Drool, where he's the most useless.
Yes,
Sharkboy seems to be more effective on land than in the place where sharks are from.
Oh, he's
way
land
more.
boy.
He's land boy,
land shark boy.
He's land boy and piss green girl. Those are their names.
Listener, if your piss is green,
please talk to someone.
Then either you are having a fun St. Patrick's Day, or you should go to the doctor, or both.
Yup.
Maybe
That's
both.
True. Drink some cranberry juice at the very least.
Oh God.
Anyway,
okay, so now
Lavagirl jumps into the
she
water.
jumps in. She declares that he is her best friend.
A beautiful moment of self-sacrifice.
And dives to the bottom to save him. And she brings him up, but now they both appear to be dead on the shore. Max is the only person conscious. And then Tobor, the robot, appears
in violation of his parole.
In violation of his parole at great legal risk to his freedom.
Very far away from the point where he said, I can't go any further than this.
It's going to be his third strike. He's going to be there.
He's got a life sentence now.
Yeah, man, it's trafficking.
It's up for Tobor.
It's trafficking now, bud.
Man. I mean, it's federal at this point.
Tobor appears and asks Max what he thinks should happen. He says something about dreaming a better dream, an unselfish dream. Again, I don't know at what point Max is supposed to have been selfish.
How can your dreams be selfish? You're the only person that experiences them.
Dreamy dream, dream, dream. The dreamiest dreamed dream to dream at the Dream Factory.
Listener, how you doing? You hanging with us?
How are you guys?
We're not.
You doing good? I felt my mental acuity recover as we were chatting and when we turned the movie off, and I can can feel it declining again.
Oh, there's one brain cell rattling around up
Right.
here. I got one dream.
Yeah.
Ping ponging around.
We see in the background that Lavagirl's home volcano is there. They have to get her there for a reverse sacrifice. Sharkboy can now carry her and run at super speeds all of a sudden.
so fast.
Oh, by the way, he's awake now too. No reason. He's just up again.
Even when they do something good,
Yeah.
they make a good plot decision, like Lavagirl has to jump into water to save Sharkboy.
Yes.
And then Sharkboy has to go to a volcano to save Lavagirl, right?
Mm.
Putting sort of, no pun intended, they both have to be the fish out of water to save the other.
And they save each other, sure.
It is just so immediately back to back in
Yes.
a way that feels completely unearned. And so
Right.
there's really no payoff when it happens the second time.
And also in both cases, they're both just whoever needs to suddenly be able-bodied is.
right.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't a second ago.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, he can run really fast. I guess because Max is dreaming that he can, though Max is not sleeping this time. Max incants good blessings upon Lavagirl, and Sharkboy, without hesitation, throws her into the volcano.
Just slam dunks her.
Gets to the top, and no moment of just like
From the top rope.
no moment of like you and I we've been through. No, he just
And like it makes sense.
Sure.
that Lavagirl needs to go into lava.
gotta go into lava.
because that's going to restore her strength.
I know, it's just so
But in
funny.
every movie or TV show we've ever seen, something in falling into lava means it is destroyed.
Yeah.
And the way he just deposits her in there, the way I throw trash into a trash can, it reminded me of the end of Lord of the Rings, where Frodo hesitates throwing the ring into Mount Doom to destroy it.
Yeah.
And Sharkboy is just like, get in the lava,
Dong.
idiot.
It'd be better if he did a little backflip after he dropped
Yeah.
her in.
That would have been
"Whee!
good."
I did it.
But she emerges immediately.
She does.
Powerful. You are light,
She is
Max
light.
declares. Because you know how she's light, girl? No? Well, she is now. So she
Surprise!
shoots light power
Right.
upward because lava's bright, I guess, because it's
I mean-
molten.
You know, the people of Pompeii said, damn, it's bright out here.
What is the sun made of? Lava.
No, not lava. Like,
Space lava.
it's a constant like plasma explosion.
Sounds like a volcano to me. Sounds a big volcano. Moving on.
Max does a super run to minus. He can now dream with his eyes open, he says.
This movie's still happening.
They battle.
Yeah, we're not done yet.
Max
Also, it is the darkness. This right before Sharkboy slam dunks the Funk's Lavagirl into the volcano is when darkness envelops the planet Drool, and fucking there are no consequences to that.
No, there's none.
It's dark now. That's spooky.
I guess.
But again,
it's not that. Sorry.
She's
I need
blasting
to,
light. She's blasting light.
if
She's
I may.
counteracting the darkness.
This is your podcast.
The darkness is there trying to sing, I believe in a thing called love. She's blasting the light away at them.
When you are making a movie that is going to be 3D, you have to overlight it because part of the 3D conversion process takes away some of the light. And that's especially true with stereoscopic 3D that we watch because half of it's red, half of it's blue. So the sort of brighter light, white tones are going to get muddied by the red and the blue and the places that they overlap. And so this entire movie, every time we are on Planet Drool, it has always looked weird and dark. So when darkness does envelop the planet, it doesn't look any darker than it already was.
It doesn't look any different.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's why I was confused when you said, "Oh, the darkness comes in at some point." I was like, "Does it?" Because I missed
It does.
that.
It is the Lavagirl being the light that defeats the darkness that it just overtook the entire planet.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna be so for real. I missed that part. We just watched this movie, and I fully missed that the darkness overtook the planet.
I was paying close attention to the darkness.
Well, here's what happened next. Max is facing off against Minus. They battle. Bubbles
In the second laziest wizard duel you've ever seen in a movie.
Bubbles beat Piranhas.
As they do.
Obviously. Max shoot butterflies, then Minus shoots bees, and then Max says, "No, wait," and then both of those things just go away.
This is the thing that made me irrationally
Oh,
mad.
tell me.
Because Max shoots the bow, like you said, So in this wizard duel, we see Minus shoots the piranha.
Yeah.
Max shoots the bubbles. The bubbles envelop the piranha, make them float away.
Yeah.
We see the big next follow-up to that is butterflies, and then I thought it was locusts. It could have been bees.
Some sort of
evil bug.
Some sort
Evil
of insect.
bug.
But we never see those two things meet.
No, Max just goes, wait, hold on, and they both disappear.
That made me so mad.
It was really
That
very
just,
bad.
Those just go away, and we don't see. Like you have to have more follow through on these kind of things.
Right, but also, I just in that moment I was like, well, Max can just cancel anything that happens by saying nah.
Right.
It's
So
like- it's like
that's
when you
the
play
end of the fight.
It's
Yes.
like when you play rock, paper, scissors as a kid and you realize that you can just say things other than
Yes.
rock, paper, scissors. And you're
Yes.
just like, yeah, black hole, fuck you.
Yes,
right,
it's
boat crushes everything.
right. It's the infinity plus one rule.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Anyway,
So,
sorry.
but
Continue.
it's not. But the battle's not over.
no, because they have to go up real
So
high.
Max,
Yeah.
Max. Oh wait, it's not even that yet. Max uses
God.
brainstorm.
oh yeah,
Oh,
Which is an-
which was kind of a
brainstorm.
horrifying pivot.
kind
Yes.
of horrifying because an actual storm of like human brains just rains down on Minus, which is weird. And then Max uses. He declares this. He's naming these things. He uses brain fart.
Oh, yeah, we
yes.
forgot about
Now,
the brain
I
fart.
want you, dear listener, to imagine what you think that would be in this context.
Oh, yeah, brain
And
fart.
if you think a fart is going to be involved, get the hell out of
Well,
here.
Stop, you idiot, you dumb,
Kind of.
you dumb
No.
fuck. Stop
I'll-
subscribing to this Patreon. Fuck you.
No, don't do that. Don't.
No, come
Don't
back,
say
come back,
that
come back,
about
come
our
back.
Patrons.
You're
or
not
patron
welcome
at this point.
here anymore, you fart thinkers.
Stop calling our Patreon listeners fart thinkers.
They're thinking about farts,
That's
and farts aren't going to happen.
because you made them. You say what you want to say about this, and then I'll explain to you why it actually does make sense and is good filmmaking.
All right, so here's what happens when he uses brain fart. Linus's head blows up like a balloon.
Obviously.
A giant, giant, giant balloon.
This made sense to me in a way that it apparently did not to you.
Here's the thing. I might have given it a pass if it were accompanied by at least a fart sound.
Think about this.
Which it was not.
If your brain were to fart, where would that fart go?
It would go into an embolism. You would die.
It would.
You would die.
There are no holes
Ear.
in your head
Ear.
that go directly. There's an eardrum in the way.
Okay. Shatter your eardrum,
brain-
coward.
Your brain is up there. It's airtight, right? Your cranium
Wow.
up there. No way in, no way out for that air to go. So obviously, your head is going to inflate like a whoopee cushion.
Yeah, they could have at least made a fart sound to connect the bit
Yeah.
with something happening.
I'm glad.
Dimension
I
Films.
think I came down pretty anti-fart in the Flintstones episode of this movie of this podcast.
Just, if you're going to do it, commit. That's all
Literally
I'm saying.
unwatchable.
All right.
It's almost as if a 6-year-old co-wrote this movie.
Okay, so then
So then,
Sharkboy's facing off against electricity with with shark troops. I want this to be over. My mind needs to rest, is what I wrote. Minus's head deflates and he's back to normal because that didn't matter. He shoots up a big rock pillar. Max follows him. Someone smashes your dreams. Now all you can do is smash everyone else's, says Max. He's a good guy and he builds a literal bridge to Linus. And
Literally building a bridge.
pleads with him to build a better dream together. He reaches out his hand. Linus hesitates. Then the bridge breaks. But Max is on a flying Beyblade and catches him and takes them
because
to
he's not selfish.
In
Takes
ways
them
that
to a bed.
Minus cannot, even though he was just warping reality. I don't understand.
Yeah, Max wins because, see, this would be the moment where he's like, but I've got one thing you don't. The power of friendship. Like something needs to put him over
Yeah.
the edge.
Or like, you're in
Nothing-
my dream.
Right. Nothing puts him over the edge. He's just like,
and we're done now.
I thought of brain fart, and that's all there is
You're
to
Josh
that.
Gad.
You're Josh Gad. You're not ready for an adventure.
God.
No, you're not. You asshole.
The not principle.
Minus is a good guy now, and he declares that everybody can just kind of have jobs and do stuff on this planet. But Mr. Electric doesn't like that, so he blasts off to Earth to destroy Max in his sleep.
No.
In my sleep, says Max. You mean I'm asleep? It will turn out. No.
No, he's
No, he's-
at school. Maybe he got knocked unconscious by. No, I guess the tornado hasn't hit yet, has it?
No.
They're back in the
A
classroom.
second smaller tornado.
Right.
Hit just him.
The tornado released a smaller. Just chasing him around.
Yeah.
This is the plot
It's
of the
kind
film
of like
Twisters.
any of you who have currently playing Hades 2.
I haven't played it.
No, never
No.
mind. There's one specific attack by a boss that like shoots right out at you to turn you into a sheep. It's like that. It just
Okay.
beelines right at you.
Just
Great.
that. They're back in the classroom.
Right.
Both versions of Mr. E are there. I guess I should have said 2 out of 3 because the ice golem isn't there.
No.
Whether this is a dream or a real dream or a dream in a dream, it is not clear.
It's a dream,
even
dream,
though,
dream.
Even though they're talking about it, it does not become clear.
I don't know that we've talked about it this much on the show, but Mr. Electricidad is displaying really, really bad tornado safety skills.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
He should be getting those children into the hallway. Instead,
Yep.
when he sees a tornado is
goes
forming,
right to the
his
window.
first thought is to walk up again and get as close to the windows as possible.
Well, my
he
thing,
should be dead.
My thing was basement, but then you've informed me many times they don't have basements in Texas.
Well, not in Houston.
Not in
I don't know
Houston.
where they are.
Okay, well, a hallway
I'm-
at the very least,
Yes,
away from
hallway.
windows.
There's
Yeah.
no way this. I look. I don't know much about public schools. I was homeschooled. I'm going to go ahead and assume that most schoolrooms don't have an easily accessible basement.
When
There's
we
probably
did,
a storage basement in most school buildings.
when
But there's
we
probably
did
not a door-
tornado drills in school, it was in the hallway.
There we go.
It was by the lockers.
Because I doubt there's a door to the basement in that classroom.
In that classroom, no.
Right.
I would just think in the building somewhere.
So I would think get in the hallway.
But I was
Yeah.
homeschooled too. We don't know nothing.
we don't know shit about
nothing.
Dick.
We don't know nothing except
You
that we
don't?
were both 11 and
Straight men.
Yeah.
I had a bear's brother.
That's true.
So
Bunk beds.
dad and mom come out. They try to cross the street to
It's
get
real hard 'cause
to the
it's
place.
windy.
But dad is holding on to mom's hand as she's getting sucked into a tornado. He's grabbing
Yeah.
a tree.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna lose you." And she says, like, I didn't write it down exactly, but she's like, "I thought you wanted to get rid of me."
right.
You wanted me to go.
In a
Right, we're all
tornado.
like, he didn't want you to die.
He just wanted like couples counseling.
Also,
Jesus
first of all,
fucking
he
Christ.
never said anything about wanting her to go. She was the one talking about separating, and she's like, "I thought you wanted to get rid of me. I guess you just want me to die in this tornado."
You want me to fucking kill myself, David Arquette?
Old ball and chain.
Am I right, ladies?
Tell me about it.
But he says, "No, you're my best friend," which is another
Sharkboy, Lavagirl.
which is another
You're right,
reason
I
that
get
I
it. It's a
say
great
that
movie.
that Shark,
Yeah,
that Lava
she's
Girl was his
Yeah.
analog because she said the thing about best friends and going in to save him. But that doesn't matter because he loses her hand and she gets sucked into the tornado. But then
Because she
because
gets sucked in the tornado because she grabs onto his tie.
No.
As previously established.
not quite,
What?
not quite, not quite, my friend.
Fuck.
Don't get the
Why?
details wrong.
What?
Guys, this is really
Did she
important.
get sucked into the tornado? at
He
this point?
loses. No, listen. He loses his grip on her
Right.
hand, which is what sucks her into the tornado.
Okay, but
and
then-
now Lava Girl, and now that doesn't matter because Lava Girl comes out of the tornado and brings her out, and
yes.
then he starts getting sucked into another tornado. The dad does, and then
And
Lava
she
Girl tries to grab
grabs
him by the
him.
tie,
Okay.
and then that's because it's a clip-on tie, as we learned earlier. That it flies off and he flies in a tornado, but it doesn't matter because Sharkboy was in that tornado, and he goes and gets dad.
We'll get to the tie thing in a second. I do want to point out one of my favorite lines of dialogue in this movie is that when mom gets sucked into the tornado the first time, dad's reaction to that, the first thing he says is, "Come back," as if she's doing that voluntarily.
Hey, stop it!
He even says
Honey.
it again. He says, "Come back to me," as if she intentionally walked into the tornado.
Honey, get
like
out
she
of that
like she opened the
tornado.
door to the tornado, got in and drove it away.
Get out of that tornado, babe.
Hey, come on. Don't do this.
She's just pouting in a tornado, spinning around, not looking at
We
it.
can't
Don't
leave-
do this, unnamed wife character. Don't do this.
character who's literally named Max's mom.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Anyway, and then yes, dad gets sucked in the tornado because of the clip-on tie, because it's a perfect film. That is constructed like a fine Swiss watch.
Airtight like a good shower. Linus tries to turn. Oh, okay. So now Mr. E, the big bubble man, Mr. Electric, He's still out there threatening the classroom. Linus tries to turn hero and take him on, but that doesn't work. He just walks out there and gets shocked in the butt, which is where Max's dream journal was. And so now that's all fried up. The dream journal, which, as you'll recall, got completely eviscerated by Lavagirl earlier. Max,
this movie has a real Calvin and Hobbes relationship with reality.
Yeah,
as to what characters like Sharkboy and Lavagirl and Mr. Electric can and cannot influence.
Yes.
Anyway,
but now Max, Linus, who's had a change of heart, is like, "Hey, sorry, I ruined your journal." And Max is like, "That's fine. There's more dreams to dream," and he throws the journal away. And then they decide to freeze Mr. Electric by freezing time. That's what he says. They can freeze anything, even time, using the crystal that makes the other crystal work, which in this analog is the teacher's kid who's always cold. So he gives her the smaller crystal, and he says, now you can use this to defeat the Bubble Man because you can freeze anything, even time. She goes up to him and freezes him. Not time, just cold.
Just
freezes him with cold.
Just the Bubble Man.
Just freezes him with cold because this script isn't paying attention to itself.
No.
It's one thing when there's an inconsistency between like Act 1 and Act 3. It's another thing when it was the last paragraph.
Do you know those like pieces of art where it's like somebody does one bit and then you fold it over?
Yeah, Exquisite Corpse.
Exquisite Corpse. This is an exquisite corpse of a movie.
Right.
Of just each person did like one section of someone did the milk and cookies. Someone did the ending. But they did not see anything that came before it.
Right.
No. So anyway, the bad guy bursts into snow, and then in the epilogue, Max gives a presentation about reality becoming a dream, and all our characters get their happily ever after, or at least their next adventure. Dreamity dream.
Dream.
I dreamed a dream in times gone by.
Yeah,
and so much time has gone by.
Sharkboy is in a submarine looking for his dad. So I guess things haven't changed for him all that much.
Nope.
Lavagirl is queen of some sort of island.
She's queen of volcanoes.
Sort of wearing a little...
I think she becomes the goddess from Moana. That's my headcanon.
Oh my God, she's Tafiti.
That's my headcanon, yeah.
That is possible. And Max is in school, I guess, and his parents are still together, and the underlying issues that sort of caused the rift in their relationship have not been addressed. But
maybe the only issue was she thought he wanted her to die
in a tornado.
And now she knows he doesn't want her to die.
Like, I guess we're friends now.
I guess you can just be a writer if you don't want me to die in a tornado.
We don't seem to be having money troubles, and if we were, it would make sense also for me to get a job because apparently we only have one kid and he's at school all day.
But that's okay because this subprime mortgage we have is never going to go belly up. The economy's great and it always will be.
Hey guys, I know we normally rate movies on a scale of 1 to 5.
Yeah.
We rated it on a scale of 6 dreams.
I think that is what we're going to do now on a scale of dream to dream.
Oh, no,
listeners may remember.
I broke him. Aksher, no. Aksher, please come back.
My beard itches.
If you've listened to all the Patreon episodes, this is what I started laughing about at the end of the last Patreon episode 2 months ago. And I've been waiting to say this for a long time. On a scale of dream to dream. I'm going to call it the softest of 3s. This is out of 6, that is just under half. If it was 5, it would maybe in 2 territory. Sort of using my sort of personal movie rating metric, I would be okay with watching this movie again, but only under the strictest of circumstances, like with friends and a charcuterie boyard. If I don't think I would ever willingly sit down and watch this movie by myself, but it was fun to experience with people who had no choice but to experience it with me. And so in that regard, I enjoyed it, but I don't know that I could recommend it as a standalone film experience. And that's why it's getting a dream from me. Who wants to go second?
It's getting a dream from me. And the only reason it's getting that one dream is because I think that it was an genuinely an interesting experiment.
In what happens if you let a 6-year-old write a movie?
6-year-old write a movie with a budget and some decent effects. That's an interesting thing.
That is.
I guess in terms of film history, I'm happy someone tried it. But the result is so frustrating that I can't really say anything else good about it.
Maybe we should only let adults write movies from now on.
We should at least give them the final draft, you know?
All right, Murph.
All right. We've had Dream, and we've had Dream. I'm going to give it a Dream.
Dream.
Because
debating
for two things. Number one, number of kickflips in this movie way higher than any other movie I've watched
That's
recently.
true.
That's pretty fucking
Taylor
great.
Lautner does
Taylor
the
Lautner
splits
does
a lot.
so many kickflips. Number two, so memeable, absolutely memeable. I did not, Mr. Electric, send him to the principal's office and have him expelled immediately. And that's my dream.
All right, there you go. 1, 2, 3. Right around the circle. So, listener, do with that what you will as you determine whether.
Let
or not
us
to
know
watch.
what you would rate this on a scale of dream to dream.
I fully recommend that you watch this movie with friends,
Please,
especially if they don't know what they're getting into. This would be a fun movie to surprise people with.
Don't watch it high because the little bubble people are going to turn it into a bad time.
Last order of business before we move on from this earthly realm.
Oh fuck, we're all gonna die tonight.
How did you think this was going to end?
Didn't know how to tell you this.
You know what? If it has to be you two, I'm okay with it.
If we're moving on from this earthly realm, because we're going to Planet Drool, where kids rule, and there is no school. We got to pick the next movie. I think in the rotation, it's back around to me.
Okay.
Yes, I believe so.
Now we've picked 3 pretty shit movies.
We have.
Is it time for a good one?
I don't. Well,
Zathura is
that's
still
the
my
thing.
favorite. But
That's fair.
Yeah, and that's not a high bar to get over.
it's not, but I enjoyed that movie more than either of you did, though. So it's a higher bar.
I think it hit a very special place for you of sci-fi boy movie.
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
We've been living the last couple episodes in a very specific niche of mid 2000s kids action movies.
Yes.
And I think I'm gonna circle that off with a third one. I'm gonna make the next movie we're gonna watch is Catch That Kid.
Catch That Kid.
I'm not even a little bit
I'm not familiar with this at all. Whose movie is this?
It's Kristen Stewart.
Okay.
She is in it. I remember the poster for this movie and literally nothing else.
Wait, did this have Frankie Muniz?
No, you're thinking
Okay,
of Agent Cody Banks.
Okay.
Which is spiritually, from what I understand, this is essentially a heist movie, but the heisters are all kids.
I do love a heist.
Including Kristen Stewart. I think the poster, from what I recall, is Kristen Stewart and a couple other kids driving like go-karts and wearing all black, and an adult who looks kind of angry and is maybe wearing a suit. But we'll get to that on the next episode. Thank you so much. Oh, do you two want to promote anything to the Patreon?
I have no idea
listeners?
when this might release or when you'll be hearing it, so I got nothing to promote.
Great.
You know
Murph?
what I'll promote? Drink some fucking water. When was the last time you had some water?
That's
okay?
true.
Hydration's really
Think about
important.
that.
Okay?
Yeah.
Think about that. Have some water. And I'll also promote read a book.
Do that.
Touch some grass and read a book.
Don't, instead of watching this film.
Yeah. After you watch this film.
Hey, thank you for supporting Bite Size.
We love you.
We couldn't do this without you.
I think you're a bunch of fart thinkers.
Believe me,
Platonically, erotically.
arguably, for the first year of this show's existence, we were doing it without you, and it was very difficult to find the motivation to keep going. So thank you for expressing to me in some way that you're interested in this show.
Keep
and you
expressing
wanted
it.
to continue, because I crave your validation more than anything. If you want to follow the show on social media, I assume you already do if you've somehow stumbled upon our Patreon. But, if you want to tell us what you thought about Sharkboy and Lavagirl, you can send an email to myfavoritetoiletpodcast@gmail.com or follow the social media or whatever. Thank you so much for supporting this show and listening to it, and hopefully telling all of your friends about it so we can get their delicious $5 a month as well.
Yum, 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 yum.
We need it to survive. And that's it. Until next time, when we talk about Catch That Kid, as we always say at the end of every episode,
Dream, 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 dream.
see you next time.
Oh no!
Hello.
Hi, Mindy.
We're almost done, I
We're
promise.
still talking about fucking
Don't mind us. We're going to be
Sharkboy
having it. You're
and
going to catch the
Lavagirl.
tail end of a conversation that's going to sound like full blown psychosis.
Right.
We love you, Mindy.